happy Saturday, everyone. It is midnight, at least here where I'm at, which means it's time to kick off our 24-hour Hobbathon. And today I will be reading Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I can't read which one you have there, Derry.
I'm on Fool's Errand again as well. So, and I
Oh,
do say
okay.
again, I am literally on my 20th reread of Fool's Errand this year. So,
Oh, is that what? So 20 years of Hobb is you've been reading her books for 20 years.
I have. Um,
Wow.
so obviously the later books I haven't read as often, but I discovered Hobb in 2002, and I've reread at least once a year ever since of whatever
Wow.
has been published to date. So yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you can join us today. Those of you in the chat, I'm here with some friends. Some you've met before, and some you haven't. So I would like Derry first introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, as you can see, I have been reading Hob a long time. I don't have a YouTube channel, I don't have a Bookstagram or BookTok, and I literally created an account just so I could join this live stream because I'm that much of a Hob fan. And I'm in New Zealand, so I'm in the future. And today was really good. So you've got a good day ahead, guys.
Yay!
We're glad you're here.
Yes, we are so
Thanks.
glad you're here. Thank you for creating an account just to be with us today.
Oh, absolutely. I was with you the last time you did the live sprints marathoning last month, and I had a blast with you guys. And thought I have to join these people because it looks like a lot of fun. So
We try. We try. Hopefully, it won't be disappointing for you today.
I can't
So,
imagine it will be.
Masa, he's been on my channel before, but not as often as the other two. So go ahead and introduce you. And by the way, Masa, I don't have you in the description of this video, but I will add him. But go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, okay, yeah, you guys can find me at Masa Booktuber. You guys have a Booktube channel where I talk about Stephen King a lot, but I do talk a lot about fantasy. And today I'm going to be reading Royal Assassin. I don't know if to read my little mass paperback or to read the illustrated edition.
Oh, the illustrated.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the
They
illustrated
are
one.
so beautiful.
But yeah, and then also I'm like you, Derry. I see these guys like on live all the time, and I'm always in chat. And I was like, no, this time I have to be live with them because it seems like a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun on chat. So can you imagine doing it live now? I'm pretty excited.
Exactly.
So we've got Saf in the chat. Hey, Saf.
Hey, Seth.
We've also got Steve.
Oh, who's that
Hey,
guy?
Steve.
I don't know. He keeps stalking us on this channel. I don't know why. Same with this
He's
guy,
around a
Raul.
lot.
Oh,
He's got a nice voice though. Quite like the
What?
voice.
Yes. So, Brandy, you want to introduce yourself? I think everybody who's joined us for one of these knows Brandy and Ashley, but just in case, we've got some new people.
well, I'm Brandy. I just hang out. I also do not have a YouTube channel or Facebook or anything like that. Instagram. I do hang out on Twitter a little bit, but I try not to so much because I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get Twitter. Steve's always having to show me how to read things and find things. So I don't know. I just don't get it. But married to Steve from Steve Talks Books and stuff. So I come on his channel a lot. That's it. That's me. Oh, I'm reading with like Maza Royal Asset.
Oh, you have the pretty copy.
Yeah, Steve originally bought me my Assassin's Apprentice, and it was this cover, and so I'm always trying to find these same covers. I think it's the British cover.
Yeah.
I love them. It's pretty.
And Ashley, you look like you're really comfortable.
Well, I'm at an awkward position and I'm not entirely pleased with it, but I'm too lazy to change it. So, hi, I'm Ashley. I have a booktube channel that's it's called Read Now Sleep Later. I do try to post often, but life happens, so I'm a little bit in a weird spell right now. But I'm reading Assassin's Apprentice. Yeah, and this is my first time reading Robin Hobb.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm
And
so
then,
excited
and
for
then my
you.
the other co-host is his name is Rex.
Rex.
Glad you could join us, Rex. And of course, Yolene, good morning.
Thank you. I just woke up. I have my coffee running, so it's going to be fine. I am Jolien. I have a booktube channel as well, Jolien Reads, and I primarily talk about fantasy. I love Robin Hobb. I haven't read the entire series yet, but everything that I have read so far is everything except one book is a 5-star read. So it's going to be my favorite series, unless something really incredible is going to happen. I'm just pretty sure about that. And I am going to read Dragon Keeper, which is the first book in the Rainwild Chronicles. I have the
Okay.
Dutch edition here, but I'm going to read on my e-reader.
So,
Cool.
reading in Dutch is, I would think would be easier, but you prefer to read it in English?
Yeah, it's because I've been reading so many books in English now. I think for 2 years at this point, I've been reading only English, and then it feels a little bit weird to switch to Dutch almost.
It's also a translated version. So I guess if I had the option to read some of my favorite books, one of my favorite books is
An original,
originally written
yeah.
in Spanish. If I could go and read it in Spanish, that would be the best way to consume
book
it.
is that?
But I don't. The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Readathon.
Oh, okay. And then Jolene, you said that there's only one book that wasn't a 5-star. What was that?
It was the first book in the Live Ship Traders. A lot of people
Really?
love that book.
Wow.
But
That
yeah,
was
I haven't
Ship of Magic.
Ship of Magic.
Yeah.
But I think it's multiple POVs. I'm not the
Yeah,
best
it's a shock
when it
after
comes to
Fitz.
that.
After Fitz.
Yeah. So I think that's why. I think maybe upon a reread, I'm liking it more because now I know those characters. But
Yeah.
it was difficult getting into for me.
That's
So what about
funny
you,
because
Stacey? Which you're on Fool's Errand as well. Has
yes,
anybody read the whole saga, or are you all on your first reads?
you're the only one, Derry.
Yeah, I have all her books back there, but I have not read them. Like many of the books on my bookshelf.
I understand.
That's
So
okay.
Ashley's
This is an
completely
aim of
new.
all readers. Wow. You guys have
Actually-
such a journey ahead of you. I'm jealous of reading it the first time. It's I really am.
So for all of us, I think we started reading in 2020, right?
Wow.
My first book was in 2020 for Robin Hobb. Brandy's was this year.
Yeah, like a couple
I'm
months
assuming
ago.
Ma's the same thing because you're only on book 2 as well.
And I'm with you on.
So
I
what
started
got you all
2020.
into Hobb this year?
Actually, Leslie got me started. I don't know if you know Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative.
Nerdy narrative? Yeah.
Yes. So I read Assassin's Apprentice recently. I actually got it free when it in I think 2002. A long time ago. I didn't read it.
Wow.
I had it on my shelf forever. And then I finally read it and I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I decided, it's not for me. I wasn't going to read any more of her books. And then Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative read Ship of Magic, loved it. So I went and tried that one. And that was it. I was an instant fan. I went back and read Farseer, all 5 stars.
For me, it was
That's
Yolene.
awesome.
Yolene got me excited about reading them. And then Leslie talked about how Assassin's Apprentice wrecked her and made her throw the book across the hall or something. And I was like, I got it. I have to read that. I need to be wrecked.
Did it wreck you?
It wrecked me. But I didn't throw any books. I enjoyed it. I'm messed
Ship of
up
Destiny is the one that has me wanting to throw the book. Even now, on 20 rereads, I still want to throw the book. Honestly.
What is your favorite, Derry, of all of the books? And what is your least favorite?
I think of all of them, it's a toss-up for me. And it's a toss-up between Fool's Errand, that I'm reading now, book 1 of the Tawny Man, and Fool's Fate, which is the ultimate end book. And that's not because they're the only great ones, it's that they're the greatest of the great ones, for me. Fool's Errand has some very emotional moments, And
Oh, great.
even on the umpteenth reread, I know I'm going to start crying chapters before something happens. And I will be sobbing like a baby every frickin' time. It's insane. Every
Yeah,
time.
it's funny because people are always saying, who hurt Robin Hobb? Why did she write these books? Who hurt her so bad?
She
It's
has
really,
more
people
books,
are like,
doesn't
oh,
she?
so much sadness. There's so much hope in this series.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
everything that happens, Fitz keeps getting up and he keeps going. And that's hopeful. That's incredible for me that he just keeps going. And he has some.
So we have, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name if I even try, so I'm just going to call you S or Strawrula. Oh gosh, I don't,
Stola?
I'm sorry, but thank you for joining us today. And sorry, I just want to make sure I give people who are joining in the chat a hello from everybody.
Yeah.
Robin
So,
has a pen name, doesn't she? She also has
She
another
does.
like
Well,
yeah.
yes.
Robin Hobb is a pen name.
Oh, okay.
So it's Robin
Oh,
Hobb
Robin
and
Hobb
Megan
is her pen
Lindholm
name?
is the other. They both are.
Megan, yes.
Megan Lindholm and Robin Hobb are both pen names.
Oh, interesting.
I'm trying to think what her actual name is. It's not Megan. I want to say Margaret, but I'm not sure. But she has written. She began writing as Megan Lindholm, and there is a really different tone to the books that she writes as Megan Lindholm. I like them, but there's not a series under Megan Lindholm that I love as much as I love the Elderlings. To be
Are
fair,
they fantasy
nothing.
books?
They are fantasy.
Yeah.
They tend to be. They have a more contemporary feel to them. There's a couple of urban fantasies in there. I think Wizard of Pigeons, Pigeons, is like the main Megan Lindholm title. And I do like them. They are good. And I think if I hadn't read Elderlings, it would probably be right up there. But I have read Elderlings and nothing else compares.
She ruined you for her other work.
She totally did. She totally did. There's a great bind-up of short stories called The Inheritance, and that has short stories under both pen names. So you can really get a sense of the different styles. And that was well worth reading. That bind-up, really well worth it.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
What about Yoling? You just recently read was the Piebald Princess, and
Yeah,
I can't remember the title.
It's the Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince. Yeah, I always
Okay.
mix up the title as well. But that's a novella, and yeah, I read it after The Tawny Man. I think that you can read it after Farseer, maybe. At least wait until after Farseer, I would say. And yeah, I really like that one as well. I'm usually not really a fan of novellas because it's just so short. How can you become invested? But that's something that Robin Hobb can do. And I also liked how the story was told because it's one of the maids who tells what happened. And that's just a different way of telling that story. And I like it when you have done that novella that you just switch up a small thing that makes it more unique. So I ended up really loving it, even though it was just 100 pages maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to read it then.
Jake Bishop from Jake Bishop's channel, he said something that I thought was perfect. She was like, he said, Robin Hobb has managed to go back in history and punish Fitz in history. And I just thought, Jake, that's perfect because that's exactly what she did. She has been punishing Fitz for hundreds of years. It's genius. Just
Poor Fitz.
Yeah, I know.
genius.
I'm so excited to get back to him because like I said, I went back and read the Farseer books before I finished Live Ship Trader. So it's been a few books before I've been with Fitz. And then I've read a few books since I finished Live Ship Trader. So when I read the first paragraph of this book, I was like, oh, it's so good to be back with Fitz.
Yeah.
So those of you who are in the
That's something
chat.
she does do.
Yeah. those of you who are in the chat, what are you reading, Robin Hobb? And if you are, what book are you reading? And if you're not reading Robin Hobb, what are you going to read today during our sprints?
I've been telling Raul to read Robin Hobb, but he says he doesn't want to do series, so.
The good thing with
It's a long
the Elderlings
series.
is there's sub-series. You don't have to read all 16 in a row. You can read 3, and it has an ending that feels like an ending, and you can leave, and you feel satisfied that you've read a trilogy with an end. And then if you read Live Ships, you've read a trilogy that has an end that feels like a complete end, and you can walk away and feel satisfied. And that's the case after each subset. At any point you can go, okay, I don't need any more, I feel good. But you want to go back because you miss these characters and you miss the world. And then you just get another layer, and the next ending is that much more satisfying. And then that much more satisfying. And then you get to the end and you're like, this cannot be topped. This is just perfection. Just
Exciting.
Perfection. So good.
I felt that way when I was reading The Royal Assassin. I was like, oh, certainly you can't get better than when I got to Assassin's Quest. It's like, I can't get better than Royal Assassin. And that was so good. And then I reading that, I'm like, how did she do this? How does she keep doing this? How can she hurt me in new ways and make me love her for it?
Yeah. What's astonishing is you read Farseer, and I remember reading Farseer the first time because it was just so astonishingly genius, and thinking this is the best trilogy ever. And then when I came back to Fitz and the Tawny Man, I remember thinking, oh my God, Farseer was literally just the training wheels of this series. You think she's got you now? Wait.
Oh my gosh.
Holy moly. The emotions are insane.
No,
Oh.
I'm scared.
No, don't be, because you cry as much for happiness as you do for tragedy. You know.
Brandy, she's like, I'm ready.
I love it.
But because she takes Fitz to such low lows, when she brings him into a high point, when you get that moment of excitement or victory or joy, it's so much more joyous because you feel how far he's had to come to get that. And I have cried as many tears of joy for Fitz as I have for sadness. He has a very emotional ride. So yeah,
She is definitely an amazing character writer. I mean, they're real. They certainly feel real. All the characters, even her side characters, even the ones that are in there just for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I love best about her.
Even the animal characters. You just feel like they're, I don't know. I don't want to say too much for Ashley, but
Oh,
I love
yeah.
it. I love the animal sidekicks.
I'm going to do a quick plug for Steve here. So Steve is reading Lullaby by Daniel Barnett, and he will be hosting a live stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time or Central.
Yeah.
Central. With those of us who are reading along, and Daniel will be joining for that live stream as well. So any of you who are interested in reading the Nightmareland Chronicles, it will be spoilery, but there will be a non-spoiler section, I believe, in the beginning. So join us for that. It's great horror. It's not fantasy, it's horror, but it does have some kind of fantasy elements. But I'll let Steve talk about that tomorrow. Well, actually, I guess it would be later today at 4 p.m. Central Time. So go join us for that stream.
Yeah, I think they're on Kindle Unlimited too, if you have that. And this one I was just looking at because Steve had it on the coffee table. It's like 90 pages or 96 pages. It's
not very long.
read.
But it definitely takes the story in a whole nother direction.
Yeah.
So Saf is reading Beguiled by Night still, and Heaven by Kawakami. I haven't read that.
Oh.
So Steph, how are you enjoying Beguiled by Night? I just finished it today. I'm excited for that live stream. We'll be having that live stream next Saturday, so a week from today.
I've not heard of Beguiled by Night. What is Beguiled by Night? What kind of feel does that have?
That is a that is a vampire romance. Nicole Eisinger is the author, and Eisinger is the author.
Eisner.
Yeah, and I don't have the book down here. She told us in the kickoff last week, so we did a kickoff for that it was not romance. It's romance.
Oh, okay.
But I wonder how Steve feels about that when he gets to it.
Oh,
Not in a bad way.
Oh, I
Don't
have
get me wrong. It's good.
Recommendations
good.
actually for Yarlian. And vampires is a good segue. I did ask you earlier, Yarlian, how you went with supernatural elements
Yes.
in romance/supernatural. And there is an author who actually lives in New Zealand called Nalini Singh, and she has a series called The Guild Hunter, and it has vampires and angels, but they aren't angels from heaven. They're literally just a species that lives on Earth with
Nice.
us.
I'm going to write that down.
And it is so good. Vampires are created by the angels, and to control them, they have to sign 100-year contracts when they become vampires. The guild hunters track down the vampires who try to escape their contracts.
Wow, what a different take
It's
on
a
the vampire
great
story.
series.
Yeah.
It really is, because it's set in the real world. But it's a real world that has developed with angels as part of their thing. And angels they're immortal pretty much. And not each individual book. Most of the books have a romance thread. So you get a beginning to a romance, and it ends with the happily ever after of that romance. But there's an overarching plot that goes through, and it's literally about the fate of the world. And I can really recommend those. The first one, I think, is Angel's Blood or Angel's Kiss, one of those.
Did you say it was Guild Hunter?
Yes.
And her name
Hunter.
is Nalini?
Yes, Nalini
Okay.
Singh.
I found her.
Yeah.
Cool.
The lovely thing about her is she's a Fijian Kiwi, so she's a person of colour, and almost all of her characters are people of colour from all over the world. And it's not done heavy-handedly. It's literally just part of who they are. They have favourite snacks that relate to their culture. They have expressions from their culture. And it's really inclusive. And I just find that so amazing that almost nobody in her books are white at all. And I love that so much, because that's what the real world looks like.
Yeah.
There are very few white people. There's every shade that you can imagine in her books, and everybody's just so fabulously created. So that's a great series that you might enjoy, Jolene.
Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
So Raoul is reading Notes on Camp by Susan Sontag. I think he interviewed her recently. I haven't watched that video yet. And then he wants to start a romance. I've heard about My Policeman, but I've just seen it. I don't know what it's about, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it, or I've seen it
I haven't heard of
pictures
it.
of it on Instagram.
Hmm.
Yeah, tell us what it's about, Raoul.
Is it a contemporary romance? I just finished Bromance Book Club number 2. It was like a palate cleanser. I read it in a day. And I wasn't really a huge fan of the first one. I liked it, but the second one was so good.
I started it today.
I couldn't put it down. It was pretty funny. It was one of my favorite characters from the first book, so
Cool.
you're gonna like it.
All right,
I've got
so
my
we're
TBR, the
here
first one.
25 minutes in. Let's go ahead and do a quick 20-minute sprint, and then we'll do some trivia or games. I don't know. Not everything is going to be trivia today, so I hope you guys are excited and ready for that. All right. Well, I guess I should get the timer started instead of just chatting.
I was totally here for the chatting.
I'm always just here for the chatting. I'll probably read like 4 pages because there's a lot of words here.
Yeah.
I'm the
That's
slow
Yes.
reader too. I just read
That's
really
okay.
slow.
So this is
Yeah.
the math part.
I embrace
This is
it.
the math part.
Soak it in, guys. Soak it in.
I think so.
I'm so excited, Ashley.
You know what I did actually? I actually ordered like three of the these ones, and then I told Amazon because I bought the illustrated ones. I was like, never mind, Amazon, I don't want these, and they actually gave them to me for free because they don't want to pay for the shipping.
Oh,
That
I
is
know.
so awesome.
And I was like, I gotta keep it. All right, cool. Because I was gonna return it because I was like, why do I want 2 copies? But then they were like, just keep it. It's free. And I was like, oh, for sure.
Nice. That never happens to me.
I
They're
like
always like, take it to Kohl's or take it to Whole Foods.
all
They're
right.
like, you want our
Wrap it
stuff?
up. Sorry if I interrupted you while you're talking.
Oh no, I like your map too, though.
Yeah.
It's one of my other favorite things about Robin Hobb is every book has a map,
Mm-hmm.
depending on where it takes place at. Love it.
I love it.
All right. See you guys in 20 minutes.
Happy reading.
Happy reading. Time's up.
No.
Oh,
It's so good.
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
oh,
Are you already crying, Derry?
I am already crying.
Oh,
I have to read a line. There's no spoilers in this, but just because I have to share how amazing the writing is. Let me read this. Um, so it says, he was not just one old man come to visit me. He brought all of my past, trailing along behind him as an embroidered train follows a woman in a hall. When I let him into the door, I let in my old world with him. It's like how much she says, and I just love her writing.
It's beautiful.
Yes. So how much did you guys get done? I read almost 13 pages.
I got
I read-
3%, so I don't know what that is in pages.
Yeah, same. I read a couple of pages probably, but I can't see on the e-reader.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
5 pages. I said I was going to read 4. I read 5.
Well
That's
done.
good. So you did better than you planned.
Yeah.
How about
I like
you,
what's
Ashley?
going on here.
I read. Oh, I guess I read 10 pages. I thought that maybe it's like counted some of the cover. Not some of the cover.
No, I
Okay.
didn't even think about that.
But yeah, I read 10, and I really enjoy her writing already. But I have a feeling I'm going to bawl my eyes out already.
Yeah, the beginning of that book is that is probably the reason it took me so long to read it. I probably when I got it, I read that first chapter and I was like, you know what, I'm just don't think I'm in the mood for that. And then it took me a long time to pick it up again. And but I'm glad I did, and I'm glad that you see the good in it instead of like me, where I was like,
I think one of the
Saf.
things is the books are titled so poorly, and
Yes.
it's really difficult because you look at it and you look at the title and you look at the blurb, and that's not what you get. And when you've gone into it expecting one thing and that's not what you get, you're like, oh, no, no. Whereas if they'd been named slightly better and described slightly better and you had a better idea what you were going into, you would instead read that first chapter and you'd be like, oh my god, yes, this is what I'm here for. But yeah, the titles are terrible.
Yeah.
Just terrible. And don't read any blurbs. Some of them are spoilery.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read them. It doesn't
So-
help.
Saf says that she read a chapter. I'm assuming you're reading Beguiled by Night, which is what you said you were going to be reading. So I'm glad you're liking it.
I have to tell you guys, just on a side note, for that book, Beguiled by Night, Nicole talked about she had a website, thevampire.org, and I went and I got her Spotify music, and I listened to that music the whole time I read the book. It really did add
Nice.
an extra little thing. You know, I don't know. I just, even when I was in my car waiting for my kid to get out of school, I was like reading it with my headphones in. It was good music and it really just created a good atmosphere for it. So
I never did get a
suggest-
chance to look at that.
it's a fun
That
playlist.
sounds really
It's got
good.
like lots of songs
Creating-
on it, like 130 songs or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was
It's
just
really putting you in that atmosphere when you read it.
yeah, and she talked about that she listened to a lot of music while she was writing it. So I was kind of putting myself thinking like, oh, she was like probably listening to this while she was writing this book. It was fun.
So
It was a good
Lana
experience.
has joined us. She's reading
Hey,
Scythe.
Lana.
So, but I think I'm going to start sleepwalking. I'm assuming
Okay.
sleepwalking by Daniel Barnett. And then she says, or should I start Hobb? Well,
You start
it's a
Hobb.
Hobbathon.
You start Hobb. Seriously.
We are gonna be biased tonight.
Yes.
Read
Yes,
I'm
we're
Hobb.
biased
definitely.
always.
So
No,
Lana, we were just talking
yes.
about Beguiled by Night, which is by Nicole Eisner. Say it,
Eisner.
Brandy. Eisner.
Eisner. I hope I'm saying it right. Let me see if Steve has it here. Hold on.
I only read 18 pages, but I love how like the prologue brought me back to the
Only.
story because I read this like last year, and I was like, wait, I don't remember anything. And then he like he the way that he's telling the story, it's great because now I'm like, oh, that happened. And then as I'm reading it, I'm remembering things that happened in the last book, and I was like, wait, is that from Game of Thrones or is this from Robin Hobb? And then it starts to make sense in my head, and I was like, wait, this happened in this book. I totally forgot. Like my man has gone through some really hard stuff, and I don't know. But yeah.
He really has.
Here's Beguiled by Night.
Hey, Brandy,
Oh, that's
for
pretty.
Assassins
Mhm.
Apprentice,
cover is so good.
did you have the Skyrim soundtrack playing in your head?
Ooh, yeah. We were listening to that the other night too. Steve had it on while we were reading. Oh, that would be a good one to hear. And there's some good ambient channels on YouTube that do lots of Skyrim music.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one to read too, for sure. But this one, good book.
It's a nice cover.
So,
I have
Lana,
to add
what
that to the
Hobb book are you
TBR.
going to read?
I kind of wish I had a bookmark like Brandy's because I had to use like this little thing for a bookmark.
Which one,
Okay,
Steve?
share your
Steve
bookmarks.
bought me these ones. This one. This is my Hobb bookmark because it matches. It's gold and pretty, and it matches my pretty book. But I was showing everybody before we went on this new bookmark that I got. See if it'll-
I love that.
Sorry.
Just saying, if you don't read, it could happen to you.
Okay, wait.
So I asked
I actually
asked Lana what book she was reading, and she said, "I'm so dumb, I held it up."
I
That's
saw it,
awesome.
Lana.
Because I do that when you guys are doing lives. I totally interact with the screen and have to remind myself, oh, that's right, they can't see me.
That is
I'm
so
glad we
funny.
can see you tonight, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So that's
Jerry,
it.
for
Oh,
coming.
excellent. Lauren Lullabies.
So
on
it looks like
Assassins
What? Raoul's
Yay!
reading?
That's exciting.
Yes.
You guys have no idea what it is like to see BookTube discover Robin Hobb when I have been loving these books for so long. It is so awesome to watch so many new readers vicariously come into it and be like, oh my god. And I'm over here going,
Stacey, tell Derry what happened in our chat when I was like, let me text her real quick. And you were like, shut up. Like,
I was like, you don't mess with me like that. So Mazza was telling us that you can order. Now I don't know if they do international shipping, but the university in University of
Seattle.
Washington
Yeah.
in Seattle.
Yeah, the University of
their bookstore. She will sign copies and they'll sell it through the bookstore there.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
She
I'm
has
gonna
a
have
really
to order.
good Facebook page. And she will let you know when she's doing signings, when they've got stock of signed copies that you can order. It's yeah, she's really good. And
I think it's
everybody
cool
in the
because
loop.
you can literally tell her what you want her to put on yours. Because on mine, I told her to put like my name, but then also put AKA Masa Booktuber. That way, it felt more like legit, I guess. And I don't know, just having that Masa Booktuber thing on there just made it even more special.
Oh, wow.
So you weren't even kidding. I thought you were
no.
joking.
No, I wasn't.
I was like, yeah, right, Masai.
She seems like such a
Wow.
lovely lady. She really, really does.
Yeah. And you can
There's
tell her to
actually,
say anything she will. I don't know about
Yeah.
everything, anything, but she'll sign whatever you want her to say on your thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so
There's a,
neat.
There's
Steve,
a really
if you're
good.
listening.
I'm from New Zealand, Lauren Lullabies. I was born in the UK, but I've lived most of my life in New Zealand. Robin Hobb. There's a really good YouTube video with her and George R.R. Martin talking about their careers in writing. They go way back. They've beta read for each other. There's
wow.
there's like a
Didn't know
genuine
that.
friendship there. They share an editor. There's a very strong shared history between them. And it's like an hour and something long, and it's really interesting to listen to, and that where Fitz came from and how that story developed. And she talks about the Fool, who you all have met. You've all read Farseer, or are reading Farseer. He was supposed to be a walk-on character. He literally was supposed to come in, say some vague words
And
that
leave.
inspired Fitz later, and we never saw him again. But he just hung around, and he hung around, and he hung around. And now he's so entwined with the story. He's so integral to the plot. It couldn't exist without the Fool. So the fact that he began as this walk-on character is fascinating to hear when she talks about him. It just made my day the first time I watched that. So if you can find that on YouTube, that is well worth watching.
Do you recommend watching that after you've read everything, or
There's
does
no
she
real spoilers
spoil?
in the discussion. It's more about the process of writing and how she sort of developed as an author, the pen name and the differences in how she writes, and yeah, it's just a really nice kind of insight into how the author works. And obviously George R. R. Martin's there as well, so there's a lot of discussion about Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire. And
I noticed
I
he
just thought it was
blurbs
really
on.
good.
He does a lot of blurbs on her books.
Mm-hmm.
If only we can get Hobb to like get George to finish the last 2 books. Like, come on, like just have Hobb write it, man. Come
Help
on.
write them.
I actually
Have
feel
her
for
sign
George.
that on your book.
Yeah. I feel for George though. He's spoken about how hard it was for him to write the Red Wedding, and how he left that until last because it was just so hard to write. And then you think about he's spoken that The Winds of Winter is going to be the most difficult, the most painful to get through. And I feel that must be so hard to write. The investment of energy and just how traumatic that must be to then write something and then need to rewrite something else because of what you've written for however many times, and how traumatic that must be. So okay, it's taken him a long while, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's traumatic.
Like 5 O's in there, like long.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
We have a
I'm
new
going
guest.
to believe that. It's coming.
He keeps barking if I don't give him attention.
Oh,
Stops
he's
now.
pretty.
I know.
Isn't he
Mine is
pretty?
crying at the door. I'm gonna have to let him in a second.
So
look at the
Lana
floof.
is curious, Derry, if you're from North or South New Zealand.
I'm in Auckland, so I'm in the North Island. Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand, and we've got about 1.5 million people in Auckland. The whole country only has 4 million people. So, yeah, we're just little. Yeah,
The biggest
it's
rugby
quite nice being on
country in
islands.
the world.
How
Rugby?
cool is it though that we're hanging out in Belgium, we're hanging
Yeah.
out in New Zealand. Is Lana in Australia? I think,
Yes.
right? I mean, everybody's just all over, and we're just. I love it. It's so awesome.
Wellington, awesome. That is very cool. Very cool.
But-
One of my heart children lives in Wellington. Not related, but she's like family. Heart children. So one of my heart children.
love
lives in
that.
Wellington. Yeah.
What were you
I
telling
have a
Steve?
few heart people.
What?
What were you telling Steve?
Oh, I was telling Steve to pay attention to the fact that just like some Christmas gift ideas, Steve. Illustrated signed versions of Robin Hobb books. I'll take those.
Take them
I
up.
wouldn't be sad if they showed
It
up under
can't
our
really
tree.
go
Would be
wrong.
nice.
And the cool thing is the last one just came out recently, so you could have all 3,
Mhm.
and they'll look amazing. Because the illustrations on these things are amazing. Like when I first saw them, I
Oh,
was
they're
just
so
like,
beautiful.
yeah. Let me see if I can find one real quick.
And like
Shipping to
the
New
price
Zealand
is
is a-
normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not
Shipping
like
here is-
outrageous. Like
Oh wow.
Oh, they're beautiful.
they're not like freaking like $200. They're like
Yeah.
I think the most expensive one is like $50, which is
Yeah.
I mean it's a lot of money, but it's for what you're getting, it's amazing.
Well, you're talking to somebody who paid for the Harry Potter illustrated versions for my daughter.
they're
They're
beautiful as
beautiful.
well.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Worth
I mean,
it.
I have the mass market paperbacks. Oh, and tragedy. My copy of Assassin's Apprentice was over 20 years old died. It fell off the shelf when I was making my bed, and it literally disintegrated into a pile of pages on the floor. I had read it and reread it so much that the spine just went, I'm done. I'm not holding this together anymore.
It was well loved. Oh.
So I'm a bit sad about that. But I've got
So
them on
quickly-
Kindle and I've got them on Audible, so, you know,
It's not the same though.
It's
You
not.
want to be able to
yeah.
love them.
Oh, sorry, Harry,
And
I wasn't
usually-
laughing at you there. I was laughing at what Steve said. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, let's
I mean-
share. I wouldn't be sad if I had the Ash and Sand trilogy signed under the tree on Christmas.
That's a little bit easier. I could probably do that.
Yeah.
Get that done. I know a guy.
So, Raoul,
friends.
are you really in London or are you playing a joke on us?
He went to go see the Wheel of Time premiere.
Are
No,
you
I'm just kidding.
serious?
I'm just
You
kidding. I'm
really-
just kidding. He doesn't even like
Rosa.
He is not in London. Is he? But I would pay to hear Raoul do a London accent. Or a British accent.
You probably want your
Would
money
be
back. after that,
interesting.
though. You want your money back.
Funny.
Hi, Hayden. Thanks for joining us. So yes, reading sprints. We chat, and then we sometimes read.
Wait, Stacey, what happens to your games?
Yes,
Ooh,
let's do some
yes.
games.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the first one I think is going to be easy because I got 12 out of 12. Okay. So
Okay.
I
I'll
expect.
tell you what, I promise not to join in Hobb trivia because that wouldn't be fair.
No. You have to. You've done your
I'll wait
time.
till you guys answer and then I'll add stuff later.
It actually is like a writing sprint. We just read together, and it's fun. Especially these ones where we're all kind of reading the same thing, even though we're all at different places in the realm of the elderlings. We're all reading about the same characters. Some of us they're brand new. Some of us they're old friends. So it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, we're gonna go. I'm going to share my screen so you guys have the information on how to join the game. Those of you in chat can join as well. There is a little bit of a delay. I did make these a little bit longer so you have more time to answer, but I can't fix the point system. So the points are the faster you answer, the more points you get.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on my phone.
Oh, because you're using your phone?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
What? Oh, it's Kahoot. I forgot. I just closed that window too.
Oh, do we need to go to that site?
Yes.
Okay, and it's Kahoot. I've never used it before.
Why does it look weird in my share screen? I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Hold on.
Is this the game that you were playing last time?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it looked so fun.
These are going to be.
I was crap
that's
at
not
it,
the right
but it was
screen.
fun.
Why is it doing that?
Here's an interesting thing. We have a psychologist on television here, and he talks about technology and how the children of today are digital natives, and that they don't need anything explained to them. They just know how to work everything that plays in, and how adults now are what he calls digital immigrants. It's like a second language. You've had to learn it. You get better at it the more you do it, but it's not innate. Like, it takes a bit. And then he says there are digital, what did he call it? It wasn't digital foreigners, but it was something similar. And it's like your grandparents who have to be told where to click to do things.
Yeah, that's my mom.
And I thought, that is so brilliant, because it feels so true. I actually have to stop and think about the steps of how I've got to do something. But, my heart kids and the younger people I know can just go click, 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 click. Done. And you're like, how did you do that?
Sorry if it took so long to get that up, guys.
That's okay.
But you know what's crazy? That I never grew up with like computers. Like, my mom never bought us a computer, but now like I'm so good with them that even my work pays me extra just so I can help around like school with computers. So it's like crazy. Like, I don't know. Just I feel like when it's natural, it's more natural now for kids because like they grow up with it. Like, since starting like in first grade, they have to do computers.
Yeah. It's so integrated into your lives. And when it's like that from a young age, there's that just innate understanding of how to navigate that world. Whereas I have to kind of translate a lot of it in my head and go, okay, if I want to go there, it's in that file. There's a translation process.
Yeah.
I have to get my kids to help me do everything.
Yeah.
I'm annoying to them, but
that's okay. It's a second language.
Pee Wee Herman.
Is everybody in that wants to play, or should I give you guys a little more time?
Who is Pee Wee Herman? That's
probably
I
Raoul.
don't know, but whoever is the fool, I love you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, I'm the fool. I was gonna put Fool
Excellent.
Masa, but I was like, I don't know.
Yes, we're all fans of the fool.
I did it. I don't know how, but I did it.
Woohoo!
Wait, who are you, Ashley? Who are you?
Ash.
Oh, Ash. Duh.
I'm Ash.
That's me. I put B fits chivalry. B for Brandy.
Oh, well done, Brandy.
Before we start, Hayden here he's a senior in high school.
Yeah.
So he's talking here about what you guys were saying about technology.
Yeah.
See, I like to think I'm technologically, good at things sometimes. I homeschool my kids, so everything they know, I feel like I can be responsible for teaching them, but I still can't. No, I still can't.
That's impressive,
still need
Brandy.
their help.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start this. I hope that the screen is big enough for you guys to see, because I can see it seems a little small.
I can see it.
You guys see it okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So which one is this one?
So this is brain teasers.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So I got all 12 of these right. So I don't want to hear any excuses. Hard.
You
The pressure is on.
That was a pretty awesome flex there. That was an awesome flex. I got all of them right. Just saying.
So anybody that doesn't, I'm sorry.
You all suck if you don't.
Start eliminating people. Like, if you get 11 wrong, like, you're out.
To give you guys a little background, myself, Brandy, Maza are reading the fourth book in the Dark Tower series. It's Wizard in Glass.
Yes.
And in that book and in the one previous, there's a lot of riddles. And so when I saw this, there's some riddles in that you guys are gonna solve, but they're fun and I think you like it. So here we go.
I'm the worst at the riddles.
Well, riddles are good for Hobbit readers too. Let's face it.
Wait.
It's a bear.
It's a robot bear.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We need the dramatic quiz show music going that gets more intense as the time runs out.
I put a lot of time on this because last time there was a delay, and so
Yeah,
whoever
and
was in the
delay makes a
chat
big
couldn't.
difference. Yeah.
I wonder who was the one that complained about the time.
It's some guy named Maza.
That sounds really familiar. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere.
Good
Oh,
job.
it took me super long to see where the question was. I just saw the four things, and all of you said like, "Oh, it's so easy," and I only saw the
Oh, no.
what? Okay, saw the question in time.
Well, let us know if you have an issue
The
next time so
fool.
we can help you.
Good work, guys. I feel like I have too much of an advantage on all of these babies because I've heard all of these riddles before. Which, you
Yeah,
know,
I think
is
some
part
of
why
them
I
are
didn't
pretty-
join in.
Yeah.
It definitely has to be your clothes.
Oh.
I hope those aren't used by others more than you.
Yeah, I need to know
I
more about your
picked,
social life, Mazza. I absolutely need to know more.
So both of those answers were
Certainly.
correct.
Oh, I was gonna say certainly your name is used more than your phone number. But I did put phone number. That was me.
I didn't even
Okay.
think about that, but I
That's
use my
still
phone number
right.
when I call my voicemail.
True.
hmm
You still have voicemail?
I just put 1 or
Yeah.
hold down 1. That calls voicemail.
Oh, because those options aren't entirely obvious. I mean, it's not like they're trying to make it difficult, is it?
Like I said, I got all of them right.
I don't know.
That's okay. You can still honestly use that as a flex. You can.
I got this wrong. That was me.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
What
Brandy,
what
I
did
know
you
you said
answer,
you were going to join
Brandy?
me drinking, but that's a bit outrageous.
I know. It's
No more vodka.
well, that's all the one I'm gonna have because if I drink too much Red Bull, then I won't be able to sleep later.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, doesn't the vodka and the Red Bull kind of counteract each other?
Not for me.
No, I reckon
Last
that
time
Red
I was
Bull
up
stuff
till-
is like, whew.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You better know this one. Masa and Brandy, you better know this one.
Sleep. There's nothing in it. That's
I
a
know
clever
this
but
one.
yeah, it's easy.
I think the chat helped us out earlier. It's a
Thank
safe
you.
water.
Blaine the pain.
Some of those riddles in that book are hard. Like I was like, what the heck?
I should have just put all of those in here
Yeah, you should have.
instead of and built one myself and see if you guys got any of them.
Like we all fell. It's like, did you guys read the books?
Even reading the book, I probably would still fail them.
Oh man.
I feel so old reading these riddles. Honestly, I'm like, really?
Jolene, when are you gonna read the Dark Tower?
Never probably.
Good answer.
I read the first one I think 10 years ago, but it was the Dutch translation and I didn't really like it. Maybe if I read it in the original language, I like it more. It could be a problem with the translation.
Or it could just
Have
be a
you
problem
read
with the
any
book.
other Stephen King?
No, I haven't read anything by Stephen King yet. So maybe The Dark Tower isn't the best place to start. I still need to, I know that Maza has a book club and he reads a Stephen King book every month, and I still need to jump on that and just pick a good one to start.
If you want, you can just start with Misery, and I feel like you'll
Oh,
enjoy it.
so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'm gonna make a
I
video
imagine
for you.
you've read all of them, Mazza, yeah?
Almost. I read 50 out of the 65 that he has. I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I have all his books back here. Actually, every single book he's ever written is back there. Even the
That is
kids.
impressive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I haven't read anywhere near that many. I think I've read, I don't know, 6, 7 maybe.
I'm just
Yeah.
starting. I read The
Wow.
Shining and Doctor Sleep last month. Oh, so good.
What did
Oh,
you think?
Doctor Sleep is so good. I like
Yeah.
Doctor Sleep a lot better than The Shining.
Oh, I
But
love them both.
Wow.
I went one
Okay.
right after the other. So good.
Wow. What did you think of The
Right.
Shining? And I ask this because I find it frightening because I grew up in a home where alcohol was a problem. So
Mm,
I really
Me too.
related to that
Yeah.
subplot. And I find that frightening to reread.
Yeah.
Um, but if you
That's
haven't got that
exactly.
experience, how does it
Yeah.
translate? Is it as frightening?
I don't
I
know
would be
because
interested to
that's
know.
exactly why it was frightening for me.
Yeah,
I
it
grew up in
really
a
is.
home.
I
Yeah.
struggled.
Yeah.
It was a hard read
So
for me.
we are halfway, and Saf is in the lead with
Whoop.
Hayden right behind them.
Dang.
Now, I have to say, the fact that the people in the chat are beating y'all,
I
It's
just
know.
gonna
because
say,
It's embarrassing.
disappointed.
Hey,
It's that
I'm
one
not
question
even
that
playing.
comes.
You guys need to pay attention. This
They're
isn't
just
reading
tough.
sprints.
we're talking
Listen,
about Stephen
my
King.
brain is struggling to
Yeah.
keep up.
Oh, I know this one.
So back to what I was saying. If you haven't had that life experience with that alcoholism, how does The Shining translate as a read? Is it as frightening? Do you think, or
I pers-
is it scary?
I
Basically.
personally like my unpopular opinion is that I didn't like The Shining, and a lot of people are like, "Why?" Well, and I was just like, I don't know. I just didn't find like I got the alcohol part was like pretty like traumatizing, but like other than that, like the hedges, scary hedge looking things like chasing you, I was just like, bro, get some Twizzlers or some just cut them up. Like I don't know, but that's just my unpopular opinion.
No, fair enough. Because that was the most frightening thing for me. And I thought, well, without that element, is this still scary? I don't know that it is.
Mm-mm.
So,
I can't say because for me, I think it was scary because I have not personally experienced it, but I've witnessed it. So I was kind of in my way in Danny's shoes, in a
Yeah.
sort of a way,
Yeah.
and so that's yeah. But if I didn't have that, I don't know.
yeah.
But it's also because I'm a mother, also. So
Yes.
I
You can carry
also
that fear. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was an excellent portrayal of that situation. That kind of fear that he shows Danny feeling is very real. You know, that spoke very true to me. But yeah, I just feel that was the scariest element. And if you haven't had that experience, then, you know, it may not work for you. Having said that, my favourite of the King books is the first one I ever read, which was It. I'm like, I have nothing in common with any of these people. And I loved it so much. Oh, so much. Great book.
I have to ask really quick, which one of you ladies thinks a man can't hold a promise for more than 5 minutes?
It wasn't me, but I almost put.
I almost would have promised too.
It might have been Maza.
It's hard. I put a breath, but I was gonna put a promise.
How
'cause
much
it's hard.
therapy do you need?
Oh no! Shots fired.
Seriously. Woo!
That
Look
was
at
funny.
that.
That was great. That was the best.
Bottom.
Oh, it was Lana.
Oh.
Okay, honey, how much therapy do you need?
Yeah.
It was her cat. Her
Poor
cat,
Lana.
right?
Yes.
Is it snowing anywhere? Oh, we're almost gonna get snow. We actually have snow already. Do you guys have snow yet?
No. Well,
No.
Wow.
I hope we don't get
He's
snow
like-
where I'm
It's
at.
coming into summer here, so. Well, it's, what are we? We're almost 8:30 at night in New Zealand, and it's still 22 degrees Celsius here. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's
Me and
still really
Brandy are
warm because
making
we're coming in.
That's warm. Yeah.
Me and Brandy are making a comeback. We were up there and now we're coming back. Start from the bottom.
Yolene is on
I'm
fire.
focusing. Yeah, Yolene.
What? Oh. A promise again. It's a promise.
No.
I'm trying to trick the people in the chat.
Yeah, I'm too much of a perfectionist for that. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a secret? What the? I thought it was a present, a gift.
Yeah. If you know what I am, then I'm not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a gift because you don't know what it is, but the gift knows what it is, and then when you open it, you know what it is. This
Yeah,
is
but
that
if
would
you've
be a
got a gift, it's still a
surprise.
gift when you open it.
no,
It
this
will
is
always
great.
be a
Surprise?
gift.
I
It's a
demand a
surprise.
reboat, Stacey. No.
Yeah, I'm not giving you a recount on that one. Sorry.
And you dropped. I saw
know.
you actually went, "Whoop."
Dang it. And look at Brandy. She actually made it to the podium.
I'm working on it.
Oh,
Shots
no.
fired.
Two
Indeed.
more.
Look can be broken. You will not.
There you go. There's your answer you want to
Yeah.
pick, Maza.
Tell me why I didn't pick it.
Are you serious?
Oh no.
I chose silence.
Oh, okay. Well,
Dude.
Well,
That
I
might be.
that's
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great too. Let's go.
Hey, it's an acceptable answer. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
all right. Last one.
I like how Jolene.
Oh,
only when
man,
it's like,
Jolene.
Bam.
Oh,
quiet,
the
and she's
leaderboard
like,
moving.
Yeah.
Watch out,
I'm
Jolene.
concentrated, you know.
like, I'm ignoring you guys.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not even listening to you lot. I'm gonna win this game.
I'm on the game.
All right.
Well,
Last
here we go,
question.
Brandy. Here we go.
Tension. What a question was in a week, once in a year, and never in a day.
The letter E.
Twice in a week. Once in a year. Oh, well
I
done.
think I got that one wrong.
Yeah, I would have got that from those answers.
Oh, is that like Fortnite? Like the one that we play on the video game?
What? No, a fortnight is a
fortnight-
2-week period.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Do you guys seriously not have Fortnite as part of like just normal language?
No, we do. We play Fortnite all the time.
I only know what a fortnight is because I read.
Yeah. Same here.
I tell you what, that was one of the things that surprised me the most.
Oh, Seth.
was learning
go,
that
Seth.
wasn't part of normal vocabulary.
Yay, Yolene.
Fortnite.
Congratulations.
Daisy, you need to start getting gifts for these things. Like when we win, you gotta.
I fully agree.
I'll work on that.
Every question.
Maybe next time we'll do a giveaway for the next 24-hour readathon book.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, how about the
I
whole
have to say. What was that?
No, I said, how about the whole series? That should be the gift.
Would be
Yeah.
better.
Bag's not paying for that.
I have
Let me
to
just
say
go get my
earlier-
$100 bills.
I reckon. Just whoop, whoop.
Sorry, Brandy.
Oh no, it's okay. I was gonna say earlier, Saf said something about me teaching my kids how to read, and I have to tell you, it is like my proudest moment. It was harder to do than anything I've ever done in my life. Worse than potty training, but
Oh wow,
I feel like it is like, to me,
that's the
I
biggest.
get to
thing.
say that I taught my kids how to read,
Yeah.
both of them. So
That is amazing.
it's pretty.
I think that is
For
so
me, it was
amazing.
like something that I just never thought I would be able to do, but anyone could totally do it.
And I think that both of them love
You've
reading,
given your
right?
kids
Yeah.
like, the best tool
That was-
in life.
That was the
That's-
thing,
oh.
though, that somebody told me, a wise homeschooler, because I used to soak up all this knowledge from people who came before me and had like kids that were in college and stuff that they homeschooled. And someone told me it's not important, like, for them to really know how to read, but to love to read. So you need to teach them
yes.
to love to read, and they'll just naturally become readers. So I just kind of went with that.
That's
And
awesome. Well done, Randy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My ex actually
All right,
taught
quick
my children
vote.
to read, but I think I taught them how to love it.
yeah,
That's
for sure.
important. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all could do it too. I'm just saying.
All right, show of hands. Who thinks Hayden should make coffee?
Yes, Hayden.
I just
Oh,
like,
coffee or hot
Hot
chocolate?
chocolate.
I'm
with
going to
hot
say
chocolate.
coffee.
yeah,
Hot
Hot
chocolate.
chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
I
All
had
right,
some,
Hayden, go
I
make
had
hot
some
chocolate.
coffee earlier today that was Mexican chocolate coffee. It was so good.
Ooh.
Best of
I
both
don't
worlds.
even
Both.
drink coffee, but that sounds amazing.
That's what
Yeah,
happens when
that sounds
good.
you live in New Mexico. You get these Mexican chocolate flavor.
Nice.
I had hot chocolate with whipped cream earlier too.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody
Sounds
says
good.
I'm like the only one who said coffee.
I said coffee.
I'm a bit of a
Coffee.
caffeine addict.
Ashley was gonna vote for it too. She was like, nah.
You don't have to be
No, I'll
21 to drink coffee, Raoul.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, my
I'm
13-year-old drinks coffee. Not all the
My
time.
family's British, so I drink tea rather than coffee. Coffee's so much better in America.
Do you drink
I'm actually going to
loose leaf
disagree with
tea?
you because coffee in New Zealand is up there, and I say this as a non-coffee drinker. I just know this from people I know who drink coffee.
Yeah,
They
I don't
tell
do
me
drugs,
that
so
New
I just
Zealand's
drink
good for
water.
coffee.
I don't do coffee because I don't do drugs.
Oh,
Randy's like, caffeine is the most addictive drug in the world, so I'm not gonna even.
It is.
I'm
That and
actually
Dr.
going to agree
Pepper.
with that because I'm drinking whiskey and Coke. Yeah, I don't drink coffee, but I'll drink Coke. Sugar and caffeine, it's the shit.
the,
And then there's Jolie, she's
you
like,
can actually be arrested.
I have a whole can.
What are you saying, Ash?
So you can be arrested for too much caffeine in your system.
oh,
Really?
Oh, didn't know that.
For real?
My dog is freaking out. Okay,
That's okay, puppy.
you have to get down.
Oh, your puppy's so pretty.
So, do you have a dog or a pig there?
He's down. Is it me? Is it my dog?
Somebody's snorting.
No, yeah.
Hey, I haven't
have a
laughed that
German
hard
Shepherd.
yet. Come on.
I know you're so
A
upset.
very furry pig that you have.
He's whining because he was
Oh, he's
so upset
lovely.
that he was so upset that I locked him out.
Oh,
Get down.
he looks like he's got a shepherd muzzle. Is he a shepherd?
Yeah, he's a German Shepherd.
Oh, he's beautiful.
He's a rescue dog, and he's very clingy to me only. He's very upset. I'm sorry.
No,
She's like,
don't
fighting him off as
apologize.
he's trying to talk.
You can
Yeah,
you can
you don't
hear
have
him.
to
He's like,
bug
"Roar." He's like telling me all about how upset he is with me.
Dogs and
Slobbered
books
on
are
Steve's.
great judges of character. If you find somebody who dogs like them, they're a good person. If you find someone who reads the same books as you, oh, they're a great person. So, you know,
Hey, Brandy, they're asking if Steve fell asleep.
No, he just threw my dog in here, so I saw his face. He was like,
it
"You
will
gotta,
be soon.
you gotta take this dog. He won't quit crying, and
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's driving my whole family nuts."
he's lovely.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He was really badly abused, and
Aww.
I've had him for 2 years now, and I don't know why, but he's super attached to me. He loves everybody here, but for some reason, he has to see where I am all the time.
I feel like
He
if you're like,
well. Sorry,
if you're a
go,
dog
Lisa.
lover, you're gonna like love Robin Hobb because
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I already do. And I'm a major dog lover. We have 5 dogs. So
Well, you'll either love her or you won't like her a whole lot. It depends.
I already love what she does with the dog situation.
I don't know that I've ever encountered anyone that really doesn't like Hobb. There's a lot of people who love her. I mean, obviously, I'm one of them. Or people who just like, oh yeah, I can see why it's okay, you know. But I don't know that I've ever encountered anyone who didn't like, or at least couldn't acknowledge that it was good. So yeah, I don't know.
I
That
could
agree with
acknowledge,
that.
after Assassin's Apprentice, I could acknowledge that she was an excellent writer. I could acknowledge that her characters felt so real. But I was so mad at her at the end of that book that I gave it 3 stars.
What?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I'm super messed up. I gave it 5 stars. I was just like, this is
Give
awesome.
me more.
I love to be like emotionally affected or frustrated or I don't know. It's a
What
mark
part
of
are
a
you
good
at?
Normally that's
What
that's
part
a
am I
good
in?
thing,
A
right?
loyal assassin?
No, I'm asking Ashley,
Oh.
what part is she on?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I
Because
don't
we
want
all
to
read
say
the
Oh, what
first book,
part?
so I want to know like where she's at. Like, it'd be interesting to know like
she
what
just started.
Yeah, but she
Yeah,
reads
alright,
fast.
so I
I
just
bet
got to
she's
the
read like
part
30 pages already.
where
She's not
She finished
Raoul. She didn't finish the book yet.
I'm waiting for
I've got
all
to
of
the
these
part
lovely
where
YouTube people to start rereading when they get it with all of the knowledge, where they can reread and see how all of that knowledge makes what's happening that much richer. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for you all to hit your rereads and see how amazing it really is. Because all of you, I will guarantee, will enjoy it even more on a reread. Guaranteed.
Yep. I
I
still
just got
have
to the
9 to
kitchen
go.
part.
Hey, it'll come.
Wait, you are far. How many pages did you read?
See what I'm
11.
saying?
Ooh, it's a lot.
She cheated. She
impressed,
read
Ash.
before this.
No, I didn't.
No,
I'm not a huge rereader,
yeah, me
but I could see myself going back and rereading this one day. I
Same.
can. It's that
Well,
good.
as I said earlier, I have heart people that aren't really family but are family. Fitz is one of my heart people. I miss him when I'm not doing a reread. I just miss hanging out with him. He is a friend. He has that kind of space in my heart. I want to know what he's doing. I want to know he's okay. I want to know what he's doing on the weekend. I want to hang out with Fitz. And rereading is what that is for me. And I miss him between rereads. And it's always wonderful coming back.
See, that's exciting.
I have too many books to read for the first time that I can't do rereads.
I had a stroke a few years ago, and it's made it. I can't read new fantasy. I don't. Building a fantasy world is incredibly difficult. Like it's actually work. Like I've got to take notes and do stuff. So rereads, I can do those because they already exist. It's not as much effort. So I have time to do the rereads, and I count myself blessed that I had already read Hobb, that I already had this world in my mind, and I can reread these books and still get this enjoyment, and still cry because it still hits me that hard. So, yeah.
So
I
I'm
envy
curious,
people who
Derry,
can read new stuff.
what other books besides Hobb are you a big fan of that you are rereading now?
I reread Game of Thrones quite regularly. Obviously, I mean they're brilliant. And there's a lot older things. I mentioned earlier to Yolian, the Daughter of the Empire trilogy. That's the spin-off from Magician by Raymond Feist and Janie Wirtz. That's a really good trilogy, and I reread that one a lot as well. There's a lot of political machinations. There's war and spying and all sorts of. There's a lot of dynamics happening in that trilogy, and it has a female lead, so and that's really rare in good quality fantasy. So I do reread that a lot. I read Nalini Singh a lot. I read a lot of brain fluff because I can read that without having to build a world. So, yeah. The Stand by Stephen King, by Stephen King. Those are big books. They take me a while, but I know them, so I can reread them. and they're still really satisfying on a reread. But yeah, Hobb
What
kind of
what would you
heart.
consider brain fluff?
Brain fluff. It's your romances. It's your shifter romances. It's your vampire romances. It's the fluff.
I thought you might say that. I need brain fluff too. Yeah, I get
Mm-hmm.
it. I get that.
Yeah, and good brain fluff is hard to find because there's a lot of rubbish out there. There's a lot of rubbish, you know. So when I found Nalini Singh, I was thrilled because I could take that in. And there's enough of a fantasy element to that it kind of fixes my fantasy itch for something new. But yeah, quality brain fluff, which sounds like an oxymoron, is hard to find.
No. It's my favorite kind of reading.
Yeah.
So Raoul says here that he doesn't reread, except he did reread Tender as the Flesh.
Wow.
Is that the one about the cannibals?
Yes.
I'm
There's
a
the-
little
Yeah.
scared of that one, but I think if Steve reads it, I'll read it with him.
It's amazing. It's
It
like
was
one of my
amazing.
favorite books of
Oh,
all
okay.
time. Like top 2.
Oh, really?
And it's such a short read. Like you'll get it done in a day. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Especially because it's translated from Spanish to like English. I feel like that's why I liked it the most. Because like you can get like that South American aspect in the book, and I was just like, I love this. Not the
Okay, I'm gonna
character
have to
Good
put
as
that-
much, but
translation?
just the what's that? Yeah, it's a translation.
Oh,
But
wow.
is it a good translation?
Oh yeah, I think so. A lot of people tell me that they don't like it because it doesn't feel as good. But I personally like knowing Spanish and English. I feel like they did a tremendous job with it.
Because this is
So
something
Hayden
that
says-
Rowland brought up this morning with Steve. The translations can be quite different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always interested to hear how different. Like a poor translation, I imagine, can be an effort to read, whereas a good translation can make a huge difference. And Yolian, you'd be the one who'd have the better experience in that. How have you found the translations?
I think, for example, The Witcher, I know that a lot of people in the US don't like that series. And I'm thinking maybe it's a translation because I read it in Dutch, which is also a translation. I don't know Polish. But I think that maybe the Dutch translation is better because I love that series. And I can't really compare. Maybe I should. Maybe I should read a couple of the English books and see if there's a difference between the two. Another thing could, of course, be that it's more European humor. And maybe that doesn't really sit well in the US, and it's something that we like a little bit more. So maybe it's that, but maybe the translation is also part of it.
I'm
a good
obsessed.
point.
I'm 2 books in, and I love it. I love it.
Are you 2 books into the main series, or have you read the short stories?
I've only read the short stories. I'm getting ready to start the next one. My kids are reading it too. My son already finished the whole series, but he's doing a reread, and my daughter started reading them. So me
So
and
fun.
my daughter and I are kind of on the same book. Like she's on the second book of short stories. We are loving it though. I don't know. I like the I like it.
So is The
I
Last
give it
Wish the first book in the series?
Well, there's 2. They're kind of prequels of, and they're just meant to be read kind of as short stories. I'm guessing. So my son tells me, he's my Witcher guru, that once we get into the real story, which is what's the
Is it Blood of Elves?
Blood of Elves. Yeah. So you read The Last Wish, you read Sword of Destiny, and then the Blood of Elves is getting into the story, and he says you'll be happy that you read the short stories first.
Yeah, 'cause I have The
Oh,
Last
okay.
Wish.
Yeah.
And then I have this one, the second one.
Yeah. So you
Ooh, I
need
like
to
that cover.
read
Yeah.
Sword,
Time of Contempt.
Last Wish, Sword of Destiny, and then Blood of Elves.
Oh, so I'm missing some. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because I've got
They're
The Last
good.
Wish and I've read some of it. It's good.
I like it. I'm really enjoying it. A lot of it has to do with the fact that my kids are reading it with me, probably.
Yeah,
But
of course.
I did cry at the end of Sword of Destiny. So if a book makes
So
me
for you,
sad-
Brandy, Raoul keeps asking me this question. I don't really have an answer. He wants something
Mm.
similar to the
Hating
hating game. So the hating game is kind of a It's a enemies to lovers romance.
It's
I want to say it's kind of
contemporary
a
romance.
almost like a Pride and Prejudice spin-off, or not spin-off, but
Like a
modern
retelling.
That kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
retelling. Yeah, but it's done so
Okay.
well. It's so good, and it's funny, and it's good.
So this
but I
sounds
haven't.
really bad, but there's a series called the Hot and Hammered series. But
Hey, that sounds
it's
like something I have to read.
it sounds bad, but they're really cute little contemporary romances. There's 3 of them. I think the first one's called Fix Her Up. And it's like kind of a relationship of convenience trope.
Oh, I
And
have
then
that. I have
and
that.
then the second one is called I forget what it's called, but they were really good. There's 3 of them. If you look under Goodreads at Fixer Up, then you'll see the whole trilogy of them. But they were really cute. And they kind of reminded me of Hating Game a little bit. And I don't know, if you're looking for a romance to read, I'm just always gonna say Mariana Zapata.
Yeah, I was gonna
Good to
say
know.
Luke from Lucas with Love.
That was
Is
the best enemies to lovers.
yes, but it's not. There's some humor in it, but it is not a rom-com. It's a proper slow burn romance. But yeah, that is the best enemies to lovers story I've read outside of Pride and Prejudice.
I think romance books have like almost like one of the best, like have one of the best titles because I looked it up and it's like Love Her or Lose Her. And like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's what the second one was. Love Her or Lose Her. Yeah.
Nice.
Tools.
and
I
then-
actually read
Engagement.
a historical romance.
The third one is
by-
Tools of Engagement.
There's also Act Your Age. That's kind of hard for guys though.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
those are
that
the
recent
Brown
for
sisters.
historical romance. Historical romance by Denise Domning. So it's an M-N. Domning. She's like I don't know if she's qualified as a historian or if it's something she does as a hobby, but she's written these historical romances that are very accurate to their time. And I'm talking like in the 1200s, the 1300s. And some of the things in her books I Googled. I was like, that can't be real. So real. There were women
I'll have to
who,
look that
if
up.
their husband died while they were pregnant and the husband was wealthy, they had to have a sheriff in the room while they gave birth to go, yes, that is the baby from that union.
What?
That was a thing.
That's crazy.
So her books are good. I enjoyed her books.
I would have to. Man, are you guys?
I
Every
wanna-
time we do one of these, I don't read enough, and I end up adding books to my TBR.
I want to get into
But it's
some
brave love,
historical
ultimately. So,
romance
you know,
this year.
palate cleansers.
I haven't read any historical romance, and I think this year I'm gonna read one and see if I like it.
Yeah. Oh, I can recommend
Never a
Denise
mistress,
Domning.
no longer a maid.
Denise Dominant. So Hayden says he reread Jane Eyre at
Eyre.
least once. I'm surprised you're a senior in high school and you've already reread that book because I didn't read it the first time until I was an adult.
I have to say, I agree with Hayden when he says that he hated Wuthering Heights. I didn't enjoy Wuthering Heights either, Hayden. I found that really painful.
You know what? I have it on my shelf. I think, or maybe I'm thinking of a different book.
I didn't like anybody in it. I'm like, these people are horrible.
I don't-
Like, they're just not nice people. I don't like them. I don't want to read about them. Give me something else. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Saf says, if I enjoy a book, I reread it every year or twice a year. Oh, House of Cerulean Sea is so good. Talk about heartwarming. Oh, and I love Becky Chambers. All of her books are amazing.
Didn't she
A
do
great
that
representation.
Long Way to an Angry Red Planet?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same one?
Yes.
I have to do a bit of
That's
work,
the first
'cause
one in
I've
the
seen
Wayfarer.
a lot of things about that. And I'm like, oh, it sounds like something I'd really enjoy. But
Yeah.
as I said earlier, it's a job. I have to work on new stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, does it sound good enough that I want to spend the time in working to get that in my head?
Well,
I give
I
it
must
5
say,
stars.
You guys
I
are
read her
killing me.
new book. I don't know the Psalm for the Wild Build, and it's a novella, so it's really short. She's going to start a new series novellas, and I thought that the world building there was it was pretty easy because it's not the focus of the book. It's more about a team called Dex, and they are non-binary. And in this world, you have robots in the past, but they have become sentient, and they have decided that they don't want to live among humans, so they go into the wilderness. And then Dex, this T-Monk, they meet one of the robots, and this starts a conversation. So it's more about those two individuals than the world building. And since it's a novella, it's pretty short, but I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. I'm going to read everything by Becky Chambers now. Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, I might have to look at that. That sounds a bit
Oh
like
gosh,
a piece
Steve.
of me.
Steve.
Well,
This earlier
You know,
in his chat with Jolien.
I feel like he was just trying to get you to say the word smut earlier.
I think so.
Because we think it's so cute when you say that. Smut.
Smut.
The book that I was talking about is called
Hey,
From
there's some good smut out there.
Lukov.
Just saying.
Yeah, there is actually.
I've
From
probably
Lukov
talked about
There's
it.
some
Love.
good smut.
Lukov, Lukov. Did I say that? Is that correct, Brandy?
Yeah, Lukov,
By-
Lukov,
Yeah.
Mariana
by,
Zapata.
Yeah, Mariana Zapata.
The cool thing too is I don't think that one has any Easter eggs in it. It might, but if you read her books in chronological order, you get these little Easter eggs, but they can all be standalones. So I love her books. I just love her books. She's from
I love a series.
Raul,
that
you'll
can
probably
also
really
work as
like it.
standalones. They're so good.
Yeah, she's from Texas. She just I don't know. I think her culture is a lot like my culture, so I really identify with her a lot. So maybe that has to. But I love her books. Great slow burn romances. Oh, and I was gonna say too, the second bromance book club book was an enemies to lovers also,
Ooh.
which is probably
That
why I
one
like
I
it.
have the first bromance on my to read.
I thought the first one was good too. Brandy didn't like it as much as the second one, but
It was. I mean,
liked
it's
it.
okay. I felt bad for the guy. I don't know. She tortured him.
Oh, dear.
I love how Brandy like says that she reads slow, but
an
she reads
author
so
I-
many books.
Sorry.
The what?
I said I love how you say you read so slow, but you have read like 100 books already.
Yeah.
I know. It's just
Hey, slow
because
is fine
I
if
read
it's
them
constant.
very slow. I do read them very slow, but I read them in the car while I'm waiting for kids to get out of their things. So I'm in that
Yeah.
car a lot.
Has anybody read, as far as romances go, Mari Carr? She does a few different kind of series of romances. Wild Irish is a set that she does about a family who own an Irish pub. Second Chances is a series that she does about a group of friends who just hang out once a week and drink wine because, that's totally a thing. And it's literally about second chances. They've all been in serious relationships before, and so this is literally the second chance at romance. And I like that as a slightly older person. I like that. But she's also got she's got a series about shifters. She's got a series about cowboys. And I really like her writing because there is actually a bit of depth to them. It's not just the romance. It's not just the smut. There's actually some story there, and I like her writing a lot.
What was her name again?
Mari Carr, so it's Maricarr, and I really like her for writing.
I think you would like Mariana Zapata, Derry, because that's exactly how her characters just come right out of the page. I don't think I've read one that I didn't cry. Happy
wow.
tears.
Yeah. I cry all the tears.
I will definitely.
She's
I will
my
definitely
favorite.
add it.
She's my favorite.
No, I will definitely add it. I mean, fluff I can do, but fluff that's got a bit of substance to it, those are worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, are we ready for another sprint?
Oh, that's right. We're here to read.
Oh yeah. Are we
2 hours we've read once.
for 20 minutes.
Just for 20 minutes.
This is how
So
it is.
another 20 minutes.
But we have all added to our TBRs.
Yes,
Well,
we always
yes.
do.
That's true.
I
Ashley
actually have to
says,
go.
"Oh,
Okay.
Aw,
My daughter's
nice
like,
hanging
Understand.
out with
"I
you,
need to
Ashley.
go."
Yeah, it was nice.
Thank you for coming.
I'll be in the chat.
yeah." Let us know how
All
you
right, honey.
go, how it goes.
Yeah, you need to let us know how you're enjoying Assassin's
Yeah,
Apprentice.
definitely.
So those of you who, if you have to leave and you are joining in on this readathon, we have a Discord. I forgot to put that link in here, but there is a Discord and be chatting there. You could check back here when I get a chance to add it to the description. But so we will be reading throughout the 24 hours as much as you can, as often as you can. It doesn't have to be for the whole 24 hours, but that is the Hobbathon. And you could chat there about what you're reading and make sure you tag your spoilers. But thanks,
Oh,
Ashley,
yeah.
for joining us tonight. We'll
Love you,
see you in
Ashley.
the
Yeah.
Discord.
See you later.
Bye.
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 All right, 20 minutes.
Oh, I think you said 40 minutes.
Oh, 40? How about 30?
30 sounds
Yeah,
good.
like right in the
30.
middle.
All right. See you guys in 30 minutes.
Alrighty.
Time's up.
No. Ah.
So
Man.
good.
You enjoying it, Maza?
Yeah, I don't even know why I stopped reading them. I should just like read all of them, but I know I'm not. I got to page 45, and the first chapter in the book. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it for Brandy. Because what page are you on, Brandy?
112.
Oh, dang. Then I can
I
ruin it.
started this morning.
Oh, okay. So you're past me. Okay, good. So the first chapter, I was like, you guys have all read it, right?
Yeah.
I was kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute, is he actually the king, or is he seeing the things from the king's perspective? And I was like, well, that's so freaking cool how Hobb can do that.
Yeah. And then kind of made it seem like you're wondering if it's a dream or
Yeah.
if he was using the skill or
Here, I'll take some Yoli.
Me too. Fill me up.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good.
Derry, you're muted.
Derry,
You're mute. We didn't hear anything you said. Sorry.
Here am I.
There you are.
Gracious and not making noise. I was going to say that scene where he's with Shrewd in that moment, seeing Shrewd's interaction with the Fool is what gets me on the reread, because we never see that side of the Fool ever, except in that scene where we see him being genuinely caring about this man, and it's a facet of the Fool that is almost secretive because it's so rarely seen. I always love that scene for that. I really do.
Yeah.
So Steve's off to bed. Night, Steve.
Good night, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Steve. Good night.
I don't know if we already lost him. Saf read, 5 chapters.
Wow.
Ooh.
Great job. And Ashley, she
Yeah.
got to the part with Nosy.
Yeah.
It's already starting.
Sorry, Ashley. She
Yeah.
says she's on page
That's,
16. Oh, Hans has joined us. Hey, Hans.
Oh, hey, Hans.
I read 4 pages. But you made breakfast.
breakfast.
That's progress.
Yes.
Also, making breakfast suggests that's actually quite a delicious breakfast.
Hayden, you wrote 350 words. Great job.
Yeah.
That's really good. I am not a writer. I can't.
Yeah, I don't write either, but I imagine that's a good feeling if you're a writer, that you're obviously on a bit of a roll and you can just go with it.
I didn't know that about writing sprints until I started doing reading sprints. We started having people come on and they're like, I'm not going to read, but I'm going to write. And I was like, that's a thing.
Wow.
But it makes sense. It kind of gives you that motivation, just like we do this, we're supposed to do this to read.
Yeah. Actually, that's the first time I've heard of it. That's brilliant.
Eric
Yeah.
Rackian actually has Zoom reading sprints, and I think you hop on and like it's pretty cool. I've been wanting to do it, but I was like, no, I'm too shy.
Yeah.
Do
And then
it.
Rule
Just do it.
enjoyed it because he was texting me the whole time, and I was like, yes, isn't it so good? He's enjoying it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that Raul is enjoying his Hobb. Chapter 2, that's not very far in.
It doesn't need
But-
to be.
No, it doesn't.
Get-
And that,
get
man, those
hooked.
first couple chapters are so powerful. I'm telling you.
You get hooked fast.
You
And I
really
think
do.
when I first, like I said, when I first picked it up, I was, much younger. I shouldn't say much younger, but I was younger than I was now. I wasn't a mom at the time, and it was still very powerful. And then when I decided I was going to actually make an effort to read it, my son was, he's close to that age, not quite that age, quite that young, but
Wow.
it was just that much. It's like, it's just like, I have a bit of abandonment issues too because of my family, but so that was really, really hard to read. But
Yeah. Yeah, even on the reread, there's a real power to how she gets you in that moment, where there's this. He's such a tiny child. He's so young, and to literally just be left with strangers in a strange place, with no concept of why or who is going to look after him, and that sense of completely being uprooted from everything that's comfortable for him it's really powerful, because it really puts you in that position of nothing is secure, nothing is safe, anything could change in the blink of an eye, and I have no control over it. And she gives you that in such a way that you really don't even notice until much later, and you think, whoa, that was really heavy. It's a lot.
Yeah, because the mom didn't really like when they were like dropping him off. The mom really didn't put like much of a fight. Like I would think,
Yeah.
like, I wonder if the mom could the series, but the mom really didn't like. No, like he was just like.
Whereabouts are you up to, Mazza?
I'm just in book 2.
Book 2. Okay.
Maz is in book 2, but we still have Ashley in the chat and Raul who just started book 1. So Hans, yes, we are the 5 of us on screen and a few in chat are reading Hobb. We're all in different places though. So Brandy and Maza are reading book 2, Royal Assassin. Myself and Derry are reading Fool's Errand. And I can't remember which book you're reading, Yolene. Dragons?
I'm reading Dragon Keeper. Yeah, the first
How
book.
are you finding that,
the Chronicles.
actually? Because you're the only one in Rain Wilds.
I'm currently reading the second chapter, so we already have 2 new characters. But so far, I'm actually liking it. We're just getting, up to speed about what happened in the last Live Ship Traders trilogy. But I'm liking it so far, to be honest.
Yeah.
Of course,
I
I'm
always
that far,
find it's
right? But
it's a bit young adult, the first 2 of the Rain Wilds. And I think that's why a lot of Robin Hobb readers find that quite a departure from the Fitz books. But I mean, they're still Robin Hobb. They're still amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always
course.
interesting to hear people's take on Rain Wilds when they get there.
Well, I just met the pirate captain, and I had flashbacks to the Live Ship Traders. But when you're saying that it's more towards young adult, I shouldn't expect the worst. So okay.
Yeah. Those first couple, they very much feel more young adult. They're very about exploring those first steps away from home, about being their own people. But yeah.
So Hayden is doing the NaNoWriMo this year. I keep saying I'm going to do that every November. I never do it. Good for you.
Okay,
Jeff,
what does it stand for?
November stands for something November Writers Month or something like that.
Okay.
What does it stand for,
Because
Mosley?
I've seen it a lot, but I don't know what it means.
No, I don't even know how to say it. It's something that would say NaNoWriMo. I barely
National November Writing Month.
Oh, maybe
Is it
so.
something like that?
Okay.
Okay. Jeff Lane, his brother, we met his brother Matt on the Stand By Me stream, and he mentioned that his wife homeschools, and she has a really cool homeschool YouTube page or YouTube channel, and I can't remember what it is. It's like the Townsend House or something. Right now, I can't remember right offhand, but I've been watching some of her videos, and she was talking about how she gets her kids to do NaNoWriMo because they have like a kids program with like a curriculum and everything. So I think I have my daughter. I just watched the video after it was too late, and so I think I have my daughter convinced to do it next year, though. So her and I can do it together. My son's already
National Novel Writing Month.
Okay, that's what the
National Novel Writing Month. Yeah, so
and then April is National Poetry. I might do that.
That'd be fun.
That's so much of a commitment.
That those things exist though are great, because as Brandy was saying, if you've got a young person that really likes to write, adding that sense of competitiveness and meeting those targets That's fantastic.
Or if you have one that doesn't like to write,
Yeah.
trying to make it fun.
Yeah, having that framework that allows that, that's brilliant.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Bert. I have to say, when I first read Assassin's Apprentice, I hated Burrage. I mean, I guess you're supposed to until you get to know him better. But I was like,
He's like one of those rough edges kind of character.
He's
Like,
rough.
yeah.
He's rough.
Hans says, I went and watched Eternals yesterday. Such a beautiful shot movie, and the narrative
Oh,
was really
wow.
unique.
I heard it's a lot
I
different
have
than all
that's
the
the first
other
thing I've
Marvel.
heard. Sorry,
You
Mel?
said it's different than the other Marvel?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That it's a lot different than all the other Marvel movies. Because I know a lot of fans that are like a lot of people that are not fans of Marvel. They're like really like interested in this new one, and I was like, And I like Marvel a lot, but this one is just like
Okay.
I like and I rush to go watch it.
I'm not familiar with the Eternals at all. I mean, I'm
Yeah, same.
not the youngest bunny on the block, so I've read a lot of Marvel comics, but I'm not familiar with the Eternals at all. So I'm I'm quite fascinated by what this is, and that's literally the first bit of feedback I've seen. So I'm glad it's interesting. I'm really glad someone's enjoyed it. So I'm looking.
Would you
forward to
say
looking at
it's,
that for myself.
was it like PG-13?
Not sure.
Anybody?
No, it's not PG-13. It's I think it's like the first Marvel movie that actually has a sex scene in it, and I was like,
Oh.
okay.
Oh, okay. So not
My
okay
kid-
for my son.
I'm like, I don't know. My
Okay.
kids went to go see it with their aunt. My son's read the book, or he's read the graphic novel,
Okay.
or like the comics. He didn't like the movie, but he's
Oh,
super
really?
picky. He's pretty
Oh,
picky
very
though,
different.
and he's read a lot of Greek mythology.
Bad.
So
Different.
I think they use a lot of Greek
Okay.
mythology or something to do with Greek mythology in that movie. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But he
I
was
like
kind of
Greek mythology,
annoyed
so
with some of it. So I don't know. I've heard good things.
right.
I've heard bad things.
Okay.
Bro, we'll cry watching it.
Yeah.
Was it the sex scene? Is that what got you out?
Oh dear. Well,
Sorry, gotta
it's
mess
a
with
Greek
them.
myth involved, so who knows?
So Hayden's reading
Beth.
Macbeth. That's one of the
Tiny
Shakespeare
print.
I did not read. I read a lot of the other ones. I did not read Macbeth.
Do you know
I
what?
read
I've
it,
never read Macbeth,
but I
but I
can't
have
remember.
read Terry Pratchett's Weird Sisters, so I think I know the story of Macbeth pretty well. Neil Gaiman one. Oh, well, there
one
you
of
go.
the Eternal Runs. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
it's Neil Gaiman.
that's solved. You can't go wrong with Neil Gaiman. You just can't.
No, you
The
can't.
guy's a genius. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's only torso and up, but it's still in there. Which is a lot different than what we're used to, like with Thor and all those other movies. Like that doesn't really come up ever, and to have
Yeah.
it actually has it. But I feel like it'll give more emotion to the whole movie overall. Because it's making you cry. It's like,
And most people going to the movies are grown-ups. We know how much a part of our lives sex is. I mean, it sounds really cheesy, but it is. You know? We kind of like that. It's a good thing. So, you know.
Like the smut.
A lot of human history, especially old human history, is set as
Okay, I
as set
actually like
pieces
the
for
sound
half
of
the movie.
that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of neat to see that mythology. So one of the things I liked about Wonder Woman when I was growing up was the Amazonian mythology, and you don't get it as much in the TV show in the beginning, and that you start to get it more towards the end of the series. I'm aging myself now, but I love that as a young girl. You know.
you know
You're
what?
really not.
For my preschool class, I usually when I teach, like I usually do try to find a lot of girl superheroes because we do like this breathing method to like calm them down, and we do the Wonder Woman one, and I love it when the boys want to do the Wonder Woman one just because like it gives them like that feel of like women can be superheroes too. It like for the Wonder Woman we breathe, and then when we breathe out we go like this with our bracelets, and they love it.
love
We also
that.
have the lasso thing too, which is cool.
That's so
Okay,
cute.
I need more backstory there. So you're saying you're a teacher?
Yeah, I'm a preschool teacher. I'm currently gonna start my university so I can become a professor. But yeah, I'm gonna go from preschool all the way up to like adult. So it's gonna be a journey.
Yeah, some adults are just
That
like
is awesome.
preschoolers.
Well, here's a person that you need to look up then if you like the idea of ancient people, women particularly with strength, is Boudica in the history of Britain. She was pretty freaking badass. She was awesome. Seriously,
that-
Boudica
what-
is amazing.
Yeah, I haven't even heard that.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of different pronunciations, and I may have it wrong, but it's Boudicca, and she was a warrior queen of one of the tribes in Britain when the Romans came to Britain, and she existed. She was real. She's not a myth. And so yeah, she
I'll
is
look
well
that
worth
up.
looking up. She's pretty badass.
I need to read Macbeth and Hamlet after Thanksgiving break. Is this? I guess this is for school, Hayden. I loved Hamlet. I loved it.
I like.
There's actually a play that was written called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, which it is really
So
funny. It's so good.
So funny.
So when you read Hamlet, go find that. It's not very long, but it is so funny.
No, it is well worth your time.
Mm-hmm.
Well worth it. And hey, Terry Pratchett for Hamlet, for Macbeth, for A Midsummer Night's Dream, for a lot of Shakespeare, he pokes fun at that rather brilliantly. I can recommend Terry Pratchett for that.
I think Much Ado About Nothing is my all-time favorite Shakespeare, and so many great modern adaptations of that have been made.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Do you have
story.
a favorite?
I like the one with Emma Thompson and Kevin Branagh.
Yes. That's my favorite as well. So obviously,
Brandy,
you're brilliant.
That's a very classic enemies to lovers story. So
It's
if
on
you
my
feel
list.
like reading,
I haven't read it. It's on my list though.
I would
I
recommend watching.
do.
I mean, it's Shakespeare. It should be watched rather than read, I think.
that's so true. That is true.
Yeah.
They're still talking about. I'm so behind on these.
Actually,
She has a
take care.
to
preschooler.
see.
She's
Have you
so
guys
cute.
read a lot of Shakespeare or watched Shakespeare? And where do you kind
Read.
of fall in that?
I've read
read
more,
more.
than I've watched, but
Wow.
probably I would like watching more.
Okay. And you,
Hard
Stacey,
to
do you
read.
prefer reading or watching?
Me? I think watching. Just because reading plays is so much different than reading novels.
Oh my God,
So,
yes.
yeah. You have to use a lot more of your own imagination to fill in the blanks because it's
Yeah.
literally, mostly dialogue. But it is interesting to read that because sometimes the plays or the movies take creative license as well and modernize the story. So it's I think it's important to do both.
Yeah.
But I prefer to watch.
Fair. I had an amazing English teacher when I was way too many years ago when I was in high school, and her thing was, you have to remember that Shakespeare wasn't Shakespeare when he was writing. Shakespeare was bums on seats. That was what he was about, bums on seats. So now, when I watch Shakespeare, I have to remember that he was like the James Cameron of his day. He wasn't about, writing the deep and meaningful and profound things. He was about writing stuff that made people want to come and see it. He was writing the equivalent of the Avengers. He was writing stuff that got people in the door. And when you see that, when you make that connection and then watch Shakespeare, you're like, oh my God, yes, This guy is actually hilarious. He understands what people like. He gets the drama right, or he gets the comedy right, or he gets the tragedy right. Whatever it is, he gets it right. You're going to put your bum on the seat. You're going to come back and watch it a second time. And I think that makes a huge difference, because Shakespeare seems like such a frightening thing when you're a young person. He's this old guy that clever people like, and it's boring and it's dry and it's Shakespeare and who cares? But then you watch Shakespeare with a great cast, and he's hilarious and he's dirty and he's funny and he pokes fun at stuff, and it's brilliant. And I think school takes so much joy out of Shakespeare. And I find that to be such a tragedy, because it's fantastic.
I actually enjoyed it a lot more as an adult when I did it for pleasure instead of for break. Well, in school, it's not even just about the enjoyment. It's about tearing it down. And it's like, Hamlet is a great story. If you just let me read it as a story or watch it as a play.
Story. It's a ghost story with mystery. And you're like, dude, this is so cool. This is...
when I read it the second time as an adult, I was like, I don't remember any of this stuff. Because we had dug in so much of the details that I missed the whole plot.
Yeah.
So
the
crazy.
part that made it good. I mean, as a teacher, Mazza, obviously you're with smaller children, but I imagine in your training at some point, you've had to look at, the greats. I mean, how much joy do you find it takes out of the classics? I mean, is that even something that you've encountered?
No, not yet. But I am gonna go major in English, because that's the what I want to teach. I want to because there's two different ways you can go. You can go English literature, where you read a book and then you just digest it or dissect it. I mean, or you do the writing portion. I want to do read the book and then dissect it. But the thing that I don't like is that they choose the books for us. As a teacher, I won't have as much power. That's why I wanted to go to be a professor, because as a professor, I feel like I have a bigger impact of choosing the books that actually will get the person to like reading. Because sometimes I feel like in the school system, they give you books that they don't for example, I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Daniel Green is one of them, where it's people in high school don't like to read because the books that we have to read are not good books. And it sounds bad to say, but they're not. And a lot of people are when they think of reading, they associate it with those books. And I'm just no, reading is a lot more than just these books. Sorry, I just went on a rant there. Sorry.
No, I agree with you 100%. And they take the joy out of what sometimes are really good books. I read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier in high school and hated it. I thought it was terrible. But now I'm hearing people on BookTube that have read it for pleasure, and they've got so much joy out of it. And I'm thinking, maybe I should reread that, because clearly there's something there that I didn't get when I was in high school. So to suck the joy out of books, what are you doing? The point of learning is to want to read. Don't take the joy out of it.
Yeah, they started banning books, and I'm just why? Why are you banning books? Are we gonna play your Robin Hobb one, Stacy?
No. We are going to play another game where I'm not going to do the Robin Hobb one. It just didn't work out the way I had hoped. So really quick, I just want to make sure I'm not skipping anybody on the chat. No, it is never too late to play Animal Crossing, and you go for it. So Ashley says that she likes both with reading and watching, but that there's too much for her to process while watching a play. I've never actually seen Shakespeare as a play.
Really?
Only a movie adaptation.
Stacey. I can so recommend it. If you have anything local happening, almost especially if it's local, if it's a small theatre group, if it's a high school play, go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So go. Seriously, it is so good.
Hans, you've never read any Shakespeare? Well,
I kind of agree with that. Don't read it.
It's not too late to
Go and
start.
watch it. Don't read. It's not for reading. That wasn't the
That's
point.
true.
It's like saying go and read Avatar as a screenplay. No. You watch the movie, you know. Go and see Shakespeare. See it on stage. See an adaptation. Shakespeare is about performing. Don't read it. It's painful to read. Just don't.
That's a good
But
point.
to watch it, oh,
I remember English teachers used to make us like read the screenplays, and like each person had to read a part, and I would always butcher the names, and I would always be like, "Nah, this is boring. Like I don't want to do this."
yeah. Just yeah.
And I feel like
Watch
also like
Shakespeare.
reading out loud for like for like teens, it's kind of like a thing like where they don't like to do it. Like I like to talk, so I would do it. But other teens were just like they would hate to read out loud, just because when you read out loud, it sounds a lot different than when you read it in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't read a screenplay. You don't read the script for a TV show. You watch it. And watching it is what gives you the value. Shakespeare wasn't written to be read. Shakespeare was written to be watched. So you need to watch it to get the value from it that he put in. Even really bad versions of Shakespeare are better to be seen than read. Because that's kind of the whole point. So, yeah.
That makes so
schools
much
do
sense.
not
Alright.
do good things for reading.
So we are going to test everybody's memory now. With
Before
another
you
game.
continue, Stacey,
Yes.
I'm sorry because it's been a lot of fun, but I need to go to the supermarket.
Okay.
Aw.
Otherwise,
No,
I don't
that's
have food
okay.
for the rest of the weekend. But
Well,
thanks for having me.
coming.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And we need to make sure that next month, I don't know if the book is already chosen for December, actually.
It is.
But,
We chose Christmas Carol with
Ooh.
the Three Scrooges by Jeff Lane. So it's a duel. We're going to read
okay.
The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and then Jeff Lane's sequel-ish called The Three Scrooges.
Nice.
Okay, I'm going to try to make that. Looking forward to it. So thanks for having me and see you
Bye,
next time.
Yolene.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Yolene. Bye.
Nice to see you, Jolene.
All right. And then there were 4.
You're doing well there, Brady, because I know it's like, what, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning? You're doing well.
2.
Wow.
Yeah. It's almost 3 for
2.
me.
Yeah.
Wow.
What kills me is when my husband says, "I'm going to bed," and I'm like, "Oh." 'Cause it's like, I don't wanna stay up. No, but I do, but I don't.
So this quiz, Hans is asking, what is this? This one is a memory test.
Yeah, I'm
So,
not even
hold
going
on.
to try and play this one.
What it'll be is it'll show you an image, and you'll have 30 seconds to look at the image, memorize as much as you can, and then we'll ask you a question about the
I'm
image.
so bad at these.
But it's fun.
Oh,
Can you take a
I might
picture of it?
try.
I did not
I like
actually
that
do
I've
this
got a
one,
good
so
excuse to not play them.
Oh, actually, they're asking if we're having a halftime. You guys usually do halftimes, huh?
Yeah. We haven't been lately.
I might. I haven't scheduled one just because it's a lot when we have other shows planned. So there's Steve has a show planned at 4 p.m. And anyway, it's just hard to take away from people's time to read by having another show. So we might do some sprints on the Discord throughout the day as people want, but probably won't do another live stream.
Well, I figure there's enough difference in time zones that there's probably always going to be someone online. I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock at night. I'm good for another few hours.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I guess it's just going to be Hayden, Brandy, and Maza.
You're not doing it? Oh, you can't. Can you?
I
My
can't.
memory is so broken. Seriously. The stroke did a doozy on my brain.
So Hayden, I have a YouTube. So let me put this up really quick. I have a YouTube channel. Of course, you're on it right now. Maza has one. I haven't added him to the description, his channel to the description, but you can find him at Maza Booktuber. And Brandy does not have a YouTube, but if you click on the link to our forum, which is in the description, she does have a is it a blog? Is that
Yeah,
what you call it?
there's a blog feature on our forums, and I've done a few. I'm trying to get better at, updating my reading progress and reviewing books on it, but it doesn't always happen.
Derry does not have a YouTube channel, but can anybody find you on Twitter or anything like that, Derry, to chat with you?
I'm actually surprisingly media free. I'm on Facebook. I'm called Derry. This is my face. If you find me, I will add you as a friend. I'm on Discord a lot. I'm in Stacey's Discord. I'm in the Library of Alexandria's Discord.
I love
Jimmy
Alan.
Nuts' Discord. Andrew Wizardly Reads' Discord. Sarah Reads' Discord. I'm missing a couple of great ones that I can't think of right now because I've had quite a lot to drink. But, so I'm pretty active on Discord. So yeah, I'm around. But I'm on Facebook. My name's Derry. It's not horribly common, and this is my face.
All right. Well, we're gonna get started. Is everybody ready?
Yeah. My phone may die, but we're gonna
Okay, let's
see.
make it quick then.
Oh gosh.
How
not
good is your
Not
memory?
good. Not good, people.
So for the answer, it doesn't obviously there's no right answer here, but do not click on any of the options until you've memorized the picture. Otherwise, it'll go away and you won't be able to see it again.
It's a sad-looking kitty. It looks like he's having an existential crisis.
Okay, you have it memorized. Here we go. First question.
Really?
That's a trick question, huh?
I didn't take this.
Are you alive?
I don't know the right answers to any of these.
Like, seriously, are you alive? How many cats? Really? Come on.
I thought it was gonna be 2 because of his shadow, but that's why I was like, trick question. But
I thought it was going to be 0. It'd be like, there's no cat. It's a kitten.
oh,
It's Schrodinger's cat. It's in a box. We don't know if it's there or not.
All right. Second image. I don't even know if these are any good. They might all suck.
Okay. That is... Okay.
All right, here's the question. These are really stupid, aren't they?
no, it's because like we just saw the picture and I actually had to think about what
This
color.
isn't fair for colorblind people.
Yeah.
See, I would have answered that wrong. I was thinking blue.
It was kind of like a green, minty looking color,
I
like
wanna
a
see the
bluish,
image.
greenish.
It's not fair for colorblind
Oh, it won't show me
people.
the image.
Whoa,
Brandy
go
is
Brandy.
kicking butt.
Whoop, whoop.
Good job, Brandy.
I hope her
Next
phone dies
picture.
so I can go up ahead.
I know it's
These probably get harder and harder, I hope.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, look.
Oh, okay, that's far more complicated.
Probably gonna be like, what? Where and what square was the
Okay,
dog in?
what is that bottom right image? Is it
A
like
rabbit?
Bunny?
a
Rabbit?
A hare?
Yeah.
It
It's gonna
doesn't
be
look
like,
real,
what color was
whatever
the
it is.
pink cat?
That is a weird looking creature.
All right, here we go.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, there you go.
Derry gave you guys an answer.
She's done this before.
I'm so sorry. But it was the only one that was even vaguely questionable.
That is so funny.
Oh.
Go, Hayden.
Brandy, don't you have to like go get your dog in or something?
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
it's probably gonna be like, how many number 8s were there or something?
A lot. What suit wasn't represented in this image?
Oh,
Oh, that would be a good one.
oh, I
There
didn't
we go.
click it. You're supposed
I
to
don't
click
think you don't get points for that one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh!
Right. No
What
idea.
number was a card on the top right? If you guys get this right, I'm gonna be very impressed.
Right?
Brandy, what did you put?
8.
That's what I put too. What's 4?
4.
Oh man.
Wow.
Who
Only one
answered
person got
number
that right.
4?
What?
Hansel. Well done.
Hans got it.
Somebody has their eyes on today.
Yeah. I was looking at the heart.
But it was the only red image there. Okay, what are we looking at? Okay, is it weird or does that look like the start of a horror movie?
Why is the little girl knitting and the grandma playing the guitar?
Like, that is a really strange image.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That could be a starter prompt for a writing challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Explain what's happening in this picture.
Hayden, you need a writing prompt for your NaNoWriMo.
On the left of the
On the
last picture
left.
is a miniature model. I have no... Actually, no, I do know that one.
Ah,
Was
I
it
think
a
I
ship
think I
or
remember
a-
what I saw.
What did you see?
Pretty sure it was like a sail.
I'll tell you in 7 seconds.
No.
I already put in my thing. Oh, I got it right. Yeah.
Was it a
Dang it! No one's getting tripped up.
thing?
No,
a
you're
Brandy.
second.
Okay, Brandy has the
All
best
right.
internet
Because
connection of everybody.
Yes, I don't think so.
I think the faster you answer, the more points it gives you. So I
Yeah.
have to like answer
Yeah.
it before Brandy.
It's a race
Which-
against my phone dying.
Makes it unfair for Hans and Hayden because
Oh, that's
Um,
true.
Oh,
They
they're in the
have the-
chat, so they have a delay.
yeah, they're in the chat.
Oh,
You see me like, what color is the background?
Who has enough time to blow up that many balloons to prank somebody?
Where is this car going?
What color is the car?
Will you be fined if you drive with that many balloons in your car? That's what I want to know.
What color hair was the driver?
where's the driver? Oh, here you go.
How high were the people involved in this prank? Oh, what color is
That's
the car?
exactly what I said the question was going to be. I should have kept my mouth shut.
What color was it, Brandy?
Black,
It was
wasn't
blue.
it?
White.
It-
It was white.
I saw black.
I'm just kidding.
Jerk.
Next picture.
Oh God.
What even is that?
People skiing.
Okay, I believe you.
What size skis does the guy on the bottom left wear?
What ski field are they skiing in?
What color is the snow?
We're actually making a shade.
Here's the question.
Oh my god.
How many?
Oh, I can't. Yes. What? Only a few of them had skis. Oh, I counted all of them. I
How
didn't
could
count
you
only.
even see the colours in that picture?
Oh,
I
you
could.
sure
I
only-
couldn't see the
it
colors.
was. Oh.
But I guess I was right. I guess.
Go, Brandy.
Go.
And Han.
Rounds.
Great job. All right, I think, is this the
12
last
correct
one?
answers
Yeah, this
in
is
a
the last
row.
picture.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
What do
What
they
are
eat?
they eating?
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh my gosh! Can you see what they're eating? I can't see.
Is this the
How
U.S. or
many
Canada?
stories is the building in the background?
This is US again. I don't know. Maybe we gotta check. The guy is holding like a beer. He's gonna ask us what brand that is or something.
Is he over 21 years old?
Oh, let's go.
I was busy looking at the red barbecue.
Good job. All right, so the winners are
13 out of
Han
16.
in third place,
Woo!
Maza in second,
Well done.
and the winner and the new owner of My Respect is Brandy.
My phone. It made it.
Proving that sleep deprivation is good for your brain.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was so fun.
Well done, Brandy.
Thank you. That was
Well done, Hans.
pure luck.
Well done,
That was fun.
everyone. That was hard. Even though some of them were kind of stupid, but it's like you're paying attention to certain things. The more stuff
Yeah.
that was in the picture, the harder it was to.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a favorite random brain game? Like the UK used to have a TV show called The Krypton Factor, and it had several rounds, and they were really random. Like it was memory and then reorganization of details, and it was crazy. It was like, okay, here's a number plate. Put the numbers in numerical order and the letters in numerical order. See how many you get right in 40 seconds.
Oh God. This
Yeah.
is America. We don't have that kind of stuff here.
No, we're not smart enough for those kind of games.
That's
I'm
a really
kidding.
old
I'm
one,
sure
to be
there
fair,
are things
from
like
the
that.
UK.
Don't watch
Hayden
Some
likes
of them are
logic
insane.
questions.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good website for logic games. I actually have it on my computer. What is it? It is
I
logic.puzzles.
love
No, logic.puzzle.
Logic- dot puzzle. Okay. Logic dot
Literally
puzzle.
Logic puzzles.
Okay.
Logic.puzzlebaron.com.
I have to check that out. I like those too. I like crosswords, although I'm never really good at them. But they always challenge me, which is why I like
I
them,
like-
because I learn new words and
I like crosswords. I'm horrible at cryptic crosswords. Those are terrible.
You know what? It's sad because like if you guys have noticed, everything has changed. Everything has changed except like the way that education has progressed. Like it's the same thing. If you look at a picture from the 1950s, it's the same thing till now. Like we're still like sitting around listening to someone jap their brain off. I don't know. It's like it hasn't changed, and I wish it would.
especially with the technology that we have
Yeah.
available, and we know now that people learn in different ways too, and we haven't adapted to that, which I think is why kids who are homeschooled do so much better, because their parents
Yes.
are more willing to adapt their learning style to what best suits them, because they're only focusing on their kids and not a whole classroom of different
Yeah.
Well,
children.
it's not trying to meet some arbitrary curriculum decision every day of the year. It's about, okay, during the year, I've got this much time. So long as they meet those requirements by the end of the year, I'm good. But that leaves me a lot of time to increase their love of learning and teaching them how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we were saying earlier about technology, you have to be able to keep learning after you leave school, or you're doomed. Doomed.
Well, I have one child that is very strict schedule, learned to read when he was 5. You know, he's in college now at 16. He's like everything. But then I have another child who didn't want to read till she was 10 years old and is now like reading The Witcher with us and Game of Thrones. And, you know, she just had to come into it at her own pace. And because she did have some vision issues, you know, when she was younger, but I was able to like give her that time and space to do that because she didn't have to fit into a mold. And so
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
Elon Musk just started a new school where their emphasis is like structured on what like they want to learn, kind of like, for example, a lot of people already know what they want to be when they grow up. Like if schools started doing that, some high schools have started where like there's a high school like in California that's just for nursing students and doctors. There's another high school for engineers. Like if you already know what your path's going to be, like help them out a little bit more instead of giving them classes that they're really just not going to use ever.
Yeah, like my
It's
son's
so funny you brought that up, because that's
going to
exactly
film
what I was going to
school
say.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
was
do you-
into the film thing.
I don't know
and
if it exists in America. Do you have the Montessori School of Learning? I know it's a big thing in Europe, and it certainly exists here in New Zealand, where it is what they call, I think, student-driven learning, where as they show an interest in things, you just help them learn more about the thing they're interested in.
Yeah.
Which I imagine would lead better into this is your skill set, this is what you're good at, this is what you're going to be good at. Let's give you all of the learning you need to reach adulthood with all of the skills in the field you're interested in.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a thing at all?
Yeah.
In the
Well,
US,
I
or?
followed a Waldorf thing when my kids were younger, and that kind of encouraged them to, like, it was very hands-on and to just like go with their passions and then fit everything else around it. My son wasn't as he needed more of a structured thing, I found out, but for my daughter it was great, you know, hands-on stuff. But that's the thing, we just kind of picked and chose as they grew, and neither one of them did the same thing and still don't. So
Yeah, so
I
how
just
do
wanna
we
say-
expect classes of 30 kids to all want to learn the thing that's being taught on that day?
it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say thanks to Hans for joining us. I hope you get some productivity stuff done. I won't be. I'm going to read. And you also have a
Reading is
lovely
productive.
weekend. Yeah. Well, I do have some adulting stuff I should be doing, but
Yeah.
no adulting between midnight and 7 a.m., so I'm good.
Reading is adulting. It's building connections in your brain. It's adulting. It counts. It's allowed.
So, do we want to do another sprint before we wrap up for the night?
Sure.
Brandy, are you
Sure.
up for it?
I'll do it. Yeah. I mean, I'm coming up on almost 24 hours of being awake, but I did take
Whoa!
a little nap. So we get up early.
Oh
like
yeah, you're up at 5.
ridiculously early, but it's just
Are you-
Steve's new job. I mean, we went from like being totally on the night shift to getting up at 5 a.m. So
You do a lot of reading done.
yeah, I do.
That's
I get
insane.
up at 5 and read till 7. So, not
All right,
tomorrow
let's do
though.
a
Doing
short
that
one
roll,
then.
that's when you roll over and go back to sleep.
I try. I just can't.
Okay, reading
I
is the
smell
next best option.
coffee. I wake up.
No, fair enough.
I can't go back to sleep either once I'm awake. Let's do 20 minutes
Okay.
and then we'll wrap up for the night.
Alrighty.
And anybody, those of you, Derry and Brandy and Maza, you already know you can find everybody here on Discord. So if you
Yeah.
feel like doing some reading sprints throughout the day, get on there, message anybody else who wants to do it can run those sprints with you. It won't be on video; it'll be on the. There's a voice channel in there.
Yeah.
So the Discord is in the description below.
Fantastic.
All right, let's see you guys in 20. Time's up. So Hayden got scenes 1 through 6 of Act 1 read.
Ooh.
Are you enjoying it, Hayden? I read another 10 pages.
Nice. Which part of the book are you up to anyway, Stacey?
I just finished the chapter where Hap tells Fitz about what he found out at the Spring Fest.
Yeah.
So
Beside the river,
which
fireside.
made me tear up a little bit. 'Cause it's like, man, poor Fitz.
Also, really, Fitz, come on. Look, I love Fitz. He is one of my heart people. He is not the brains of that operation.
No. But that's why I like him as a character, because he seems realistic, right?
Yeah.
He's not the chosen one, and has like the super is super smart, or he has to work very hard for the skills that he has. And
Yes.
he and the things that make him special, the wit and the skill, kind of hinders him socially, and I like that.
Oh, so
but there's a
much.
downside
So
to him. Yeah.
I love that. There's an innocence about Fitz that he never really loses. And I think that no matter how naive he can seem, or how unworldly, which, is another word for naive, but that innocence is why we love him. The intrigues and the manipulative sense of the world around him just never really taints him at all. There's this purity to him that's just so beautiful. And I do love him, even though he's an idiot. When pointed in the right direction, he can be very smart, but he tends not to look for information. It needs to be pointed out to him before he will follow a line of inquiry. So, yeah, he's.
I only got to read 17 pages because I don't know, like I feel like my reading speed gets lower and lower as the day goes by. It's almost going to be 2:00.
Yeah. I'm fading, guys. But I got to chapter 6, which is page 115. So, I've probably read like 4 pages.
Are you enjoying it though?
That's okay.
Yeah,
It's 4
like
pages of Hobb. Yeah. They were probably great.
They were awesome. Good stuff happened.
Well,
Assassin-y
thank you all.
stuff.
Really good 4 pages then.
I know it's late, and I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end.
So
Hayden, same to you. I'm going to close out this, but I'm going to read a little bit more. Actually, I'm really excited. I want to try to read for a little bit longer. See, it's almost 4 a.m. here, but I'm gonna read a little more before I hit the sack.
That's a lot.
I'm not making any promises, but I will get up tomorrow and read pretty much all day. I have to take my daughter. It's her birthday coming up, so I promised her a trip to Hobby Lobby tomorrow.
Ooh.
Just down the street from my house. So, other than that, reading all day. Oh, and the Daniel Barnett.
And Daniel Barnett.
Well, Yolian, when speaking with Steve earlier, made a wonderful point, which is the book's not going anywhere. It's here when you're ready. And I thought that was such a lovely thing to point out, that a DNF is just a DNF for now. You're busy, the book will be here when you're ready. And to know that you've got Fitz to come back to, it's a pretty good thought.
Yes. So yes, thank you, Hayden. It was very nice to meet you. I hope we see you again in some other shows.
Yeah.
Maza has some great content on his show, so go check him out as well. And so, again, the Discord, I'm sure there'll be people on there running some reading sprints. I'll probably jump on there when I wake up tomorrow and maybe run a couple sprints. We'll see how the day goes. But, read what you can. Update us and let us know how you're doing. Even if you're not reading Hobb, just let us know, Hayden, how your writing is going for the day. And Raul, I want to know how you liking everything. So please update us on your reading progress.
Yeah.
So you said the Discord was in the description, Stacey?
Oh, you know what? It's not yet. It won't let me do it until we end it won't let me update it until we end the stream. So as soon as we end the stream, it'll be in there. But I did put it in the chat, so it's in the chat somewhere.
Also, I'm already there, so I'll be going there straight after this. So I'll see you there, I think, Maza.
All right. I'll put it in the description as soon as we end this, and also add Maza's channel. So Hayden, go click on the link to Maza's channel and subscribe.
Absolutely.
So you guys have a great night.
You too.
Thank you for hosting, Stacey.
And a good morning.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you so much for coming, Derry. It was so nice to have you here.
It was awesome to finally interact with you properly. That was magic.
Well, you're always invited, even if we're not reading Hobb, to join us. You can read Hobb and tell us about your journey. And and maybe we'll do another one in a couple of months. We'll do another Hobbathon because I think we all have plenty of books.
We will be
There's enough there to keep us all busy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys.